right, here.
I'm an H-time nigga. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put the mic up too, bang. Yeah. What's my name, nigga? Yeah. That way. It's that big old damn shit now.
Get some stuff ready to shower, ready to shower.
Yeah. MOB. Hey, get it. I'm back like cook back. When I'm from bitch, take a look at the look at. Struggle shit the niggas dying, bitch, I can flip back. My bag on steroids, my grind don't get that, don't get that. Me and my mom, nigga, all hard shit in the middle. It's on guard, nigga, hard. It's on sport, nigga, hard. I'm a hunt for it, get it. God, I'm a poor dog. Niggas always thinking, y'all, niggas. Just pop chain up the gate, proving. Not here on the move to the check, mate, check. I'm in the truck, running the truck, getting turning up the money, running it up. Ain't stop giving you fuck, nigga, what's up? Life's a beast to get that hit on the back, thumb in the butt, yeah. Yeah, nigga gotta grind. I don't know how you do this, but I got to get mine. On my H-time, nigga, walking out of the club at the playground, nigga. Set it straight, nigga. Skates the interstate to that checkmate, nigga. It's that big old Dana. I eat shrimps and kingdom before I rock your arena. Turn it upside down and I'm a sippy. Give me a kilo and I'm a strip. Giving niggas a hard time, head on the swivel. Never letting my guard down. Money in the bank when I start to land in large town. Side niggas cities and turn the bitch in the mob town. Got to see fast smashing the gas in the beach, trying to seal the deal and take it cash. It is how you get it. Put the stacks in the stash, bro. Smoke.
All right, beautiful soul.
You need to put that
We can get into it.
down.
All right, and it's
Why?
what's up, Jasmine? How are you, beloved? I'm gonna mute you real quick. You good? We're gonna get into it. So I'm gonna do a little introduction into alchemy, and what it is, as far as on a spiritual kind of an alchemical level. When you're dealing with the word alchemy, this is coming from the land of Kemet. This comes from the word Kemet. All right. So the word Kemet is at the core of alchemical chemistry, right? You're dealing with also, when you're dealing with Kemet, you're dealing with the aspect of what we also know as mathematics. Okay, so this is coming from the Ma tribe, Mayat. All right, so the word mathematics, Mayatematics. All right, so Kemet was one of the first places where they learned, or I would say realized, the power of the technology of the body. This is where we get the Eye of Horus. Now, what makes the land of Kemet so dynamic is because, you know, the word Kim, this is the land of the copper-colored men. So this is the dark-skinned people, right? So at the core of Kemet or chemistry is Kim. This is K-E-M, all right? So this comes from the Nile River. This comes from the African. This comes from Kush. This comes from Ethiopia. This comes from all these different places of the world. They used to talk about the Negus, what we know now as the Negus, right? So it's talking about the land of the Valley of the Kings and the land of the Valley of the copper-colored people. So this was the essence of the origin of what we know as science, okay? So this is where a lot of people had to go study in the temples of Kemet. You would also hear in the Bible where it talks about they went to Egypt to learn. A lot of, you know, Hippocrates, all the different people talked about learning from the people of the land of the Nile, of the rivers of the Nile Valley. You even got Alexander who went into Kemet or Egypt, they say in Egypt, right, to get his kingship or his godhood, okay? These are things that have been there throughout time of knowing that this is the motherland, this is the place to where life is supposed to originate, all right? Now there's arguments to say that Africa is really, you know, America is really the old Africa and all this other stuff, but you're dealing with a time where the land wasn't separated. You're dealing with a time where the people used the stars to navigate. You're dealing with a time where people actually learn to use animals to learn how they like synchronize with our characteristics, with our traits. So this is where we get a lot of the words of tonality and our connection to nature from, dealing with what we know is the netaru, the nature, right? So this is the netter. Now, this is where the essence of we bring in the power of Kemet and how they use animals and how they use different stages of life and death, right, to depict the different stages of how we can ascend past the stage of death within life itself. And they call this the Smatawi. Now, the alchemical power of this came into the essence of what we know now and today is called turning lead into gold. Now, when you deal with turning lead into gold, you're going to come into an aspect of how your body is a biochemical factory. It's a chemical factory. It's filled with different things that ignite different chemicals and it creates gases, right? And these gases equate to how your body can feel more lighter, more dense. Now, these gases are going to be directly connected to what you eat, the information that you in your environment. There's so many things that can add to your chemical makeup. One of the main things that add to this is memory. Okay, within this memory, you can know this is karma. Okay, karma is the glue of life. Now, the glue is not separate from the material nor the spiritual. It's actually what binds us. This is what you know as karma. So karma is not only based on what you do, it's also based on what you do not do. So I want you to understand when I say karma is the glue of life, because the reason why you walk the way you walk, the way you talk the way you talk, is the reason why you can have the eyes of your mother, the nose of your father, the lips of your great great grandmother. You can have the ears of your grandfather. All this is memory. All this is karma. All this is what binds you to being human. Karma is the reason why you can eat dog food for a year and you'll never turn into a dog. You understand? So don't let people misnomer you with karma and calling it a bitch, because karma is only what you make it, right? So everything in this reality is consequential. Everything that we do has consequences. You can call it karma, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but you're going to call it the aspects of what you put out, you get back. All right. Now, when they begin to recognize this in the ancient times, you got to understand how nature was their first teacher. Wasn't no TV, wasn't nothing. So mathematics came from the woman. The Ma tribe was the tribe that made of women. Everything I'm saying, you can go Google it. You can go look it up. Now, the Ma tribe coming from this aspect of the East African cultures, showing when women were the first teachers. All right. These were the oracles. All right. These were the sibyls per se. Now, this is when women used to use the femur or the bone of a baboon, and they used to count the days of when the moon would move and how many days that would be before their menstrual cycle started. This is how the first calendars were made of the moon. It came from women. Okay. It came from women being in tune with their bodies, because women are more in tune with their physical makeup because of their menstrual cycle. This makes the woman the most emotionally intelligent creature on this planet. Now, this is why the feminine principle had to be removed in a lot of ways, because only through the feminine principle shall you know spiritual initiation. Because only through the feminine principle shall you know life itself. Because only through her are you granted a body, right? So your father can carry you around, but he can't procreate you. He can't do it without a woman opening up her legs and receiving him. And when she receives him, she takes the seed and nurtures it. This becomes what we call a maturation or a gestation. This process continues throughout your life. This is the power of alchemy. Okay. There's something always growing you up. There's something that binds you to this reality. There's a reason why you question, why am I here? Who am I? What do I want? You know, why like all this human existence, why we struggle with being human and shit, right? Because there is things that govern you that you don't have any idea of. This equates to when the scripture says that you battle not with flesh and blood, but you battle with higher principles and higher places. This equates to what we know as the zodiacs. Now, in the scripture, it talks about also that God put the signs and the stars, right? And also talking about he who reads the stars is he who was like not living your life by the stars per se, but it's saying that the stars have influence on you. Now, I ain't gonna get into a lot of the scripture. You're gonna have to join the Bible study course for that, okay? Now, in the alchemy class, I will be getting up into some scripture because there are alchemical processes in the Bible within itself. Even when it talks about being ye renewed of the mind, even when it talks about Jesus said through him is the way, all these different things deal with the process of the heart, all right? The process of the iron of the body, the process of your atoms, your protons, your neutrons, okay? Now, this equates to your aura. Now, when you're dealing with alchemy itself, this is where you see the high eye of Horus, and it's equating to one for sight, one for smell, one for touch, all the different dynamics that break up how your five senses acclimate to this outside reality. Your five senses are constantly gathering information. This is one form of your memory. You don't always know, you're not always aware of what the senses are picking up on. It doesn't stop the fact that it's picking up on it. It just wants you to bring awareness to how it's happening, when it's happening, so you can learn to govern it as it's happening. This is the most powerful process of alchemy within itself, to learn to govern the nervous system. So that's what this is about. You might hear a bunch of stuff that comes to a science or come to a bunch of words you may have not ever heard before. Um, I'm going to break down some of the stages of alchemy and the names of them when you're dealing with the alchemical process or what that looks like. All right. I'm gonna also get off into see some we're gonna do a little guided meditation to ground you out. I know it's gonna be a lot of information that we're gonna get into, so I like to do a little breathing exercise to get us into it. I just want to kind of to get y'all mental prepared for that. And also Stephanie is gonna be with me on this, and Stephanie is into cardiology, human design. She's into the I Ching. She's into gene keys, all type of stuff. She's well versed. So me and her have been working and collaborating a lot together. We actually have a class coming up that's going to be an alchemy course. All right. Within this alchemy course, it's going to be a 9-week course. So this class is in preparation for the course. Now, this course is going to be a course that starts at $888. Now, within this $888 course, you're going to be getting 9 weeks of information. You're also going to get them a PDF. We're going to be doing guided meditations each week. We're going to be doing one Zoom call every Wednesday. All right. Within this, you're going to learn how to alchemize your emotional and mental capacities. How you apply the information is on you. We're going to show you the door. All you got to do is walk through it. All right. So we're going to give you tools and keys for you to be able to operate and navigate your life from a different place of awareness. That's the power of this alchemy course. It can be life-changing if you apply it. All right. So we're going to show you different aspects in what you know as your birth chart. We're going to show you different aspects in what we know as your card spread or your solar spread. This is also dealing with cardology. All right. So cardology can bring you an intricate way to map out your everyday life. There's a reason why there's 52 cards in a deck and there's 52 weeks in a year. You understand? So there's a reason why all of the cards are linked within the hearts and the diamonds and the clubs and the spades. This is also showing you the 4 seasons. Okay. So don't get it twisted. Divination is all around you, whether you believe it or whether you like it or not. Even the dominoes, throwing bones is divination. Dice is divination. Cowrie shells. You can divine anything once you know your divine power. See, these are the powers that's vested within you. So learning how to alchemize this experience is only going to enhance your experience with life. Because it's enhancing your experience as life. All right. So tonight we're going to do an introduction into alchemy and what that looks like. We're going to add some cardology. We're going to add some astrology. We're going to add some biochemistry. All right. There's also going to be a recording to this, and we might also add some things to send out to you. But if you want to join the class, make sure you let us know. We are doing payment plans for the class, so you don't have to pay for the class fully up front. At this time, 222 can get you in, or if you don't have 222 to get you started, you're able to pay whatever you can right now. We can map out the rest of your payments over 9 weeks, so you can be able to take the course. All right, so you got 9 weeks to pay off 888. Now, after this week, okay, after this week, the prices are going to go up to 1111. So right now the price is 888 because it's like a pre-registration special that we offer. Now the reason why it's going to be this price is because hey, this is gonna be life-changing information, and we putting a lot of time, a lot of energy in this. We're gonna be spending 9 weeks. We're gonna be spending over 3 hours on these Zoom calls. We're gonna put a lot of our own wisdom into this, a lot of our own alchemical practices, a lot of the things that have helped Stephanie and I alchemize some things. All right. So a lot of y'all may know a lot about me, and what I do and what I bring. But I want to introduce y'all to Stephanie, and she gonna tell y'all what she bringing to the table and all that good shit. So Steph, you want to introduce yourself to the people, beloved?
I appreciate you. And I am honored to be here, a part of this alchemy course. My name is Stephanie. I am a self-mastery guide, and the guidance that I offer is medical intuitive. It's astrology, numerology, it's cardiology, definitely, and tantric ways of healing through movement instead of words. I've been doing this work this is a life work. Anybody that's doing it, this is just your life. This is what you do in life. I'm a 7 of clubs, manifesting generator, 2-5, all this crazy energy that got me here being a service to this community of people. And I hold almost daily conversations on Clubhouse. So you can come through there and check Sensei and I out when we talking about a lot of this alchemical stuff and cardology and astrology and breaking down the energy of the day. I am a mother first. I have 9 amazing beings that decided to transverse my earth and use me as a spaceship to get to this planet. So, and I've been a mama for 36, maybe 37 years. I don't know. You stop counting at some point. So I've learned a lot just from raising beings and healing beings. And so yeah, I'm excited to not only share what I know and what I have to offer, but also learn a lot and ground in this energy with working with Sensei. And you'll see me in the background throwing up some signs, some cardology, some information in the chat. So definitely get at that information. I would love for y'all to be able to break it down to the basics as much as possible. So I'll be putting solar values in there. I'll be breaking things down as Sensei is giving you guys this work, and see what connects with you. See what's in your astrology, in your cardology. How does alchemy um, fit into your energy field? It's obviously calling you because you're here, right? It's obviously calling you. So having that conversation and sitting with this energy, with these cards, with this astrology, with this day, it's a 4 spades day. There's a lot of powerful, magical information processing through this universe right now, with Pluto, with Saturn, with all these dignitaries that have you right place, right time. So take lots of notes, ask lots of questions, write your questions down, and just allow yourself to absorb the information right now, or let the information just flow through you, right? It's like, since they said it's going to be a lot of things that maybe you haven't heard before, and we'll do our best to give you, I mean, you're going to have to come through the 9 weeks to get the real breakdown of it. But tonight, just allow it to flow, right? And ask as many questions as you can when Q&A comes up, and then, sit with it and see how alchemy is calling you, because it's calling you. That's why you're here. So I'm looking forward to this. Thank you, Sensei.
Now, I appreciate you, Steph. And real quick, I want you to explain to the people what is a solar value and what is a solar spread in cardology for the people that's new to cardology.
Got you. So everything has a energy field to it. Every word, every item, everything you can think of, every birthday, it's a energy field that conglomerated in that moment that it was created. So whether it's your birthday or the birthday of a thing, or the birthday of a country, or whether it's these words when they were created, were created with an energy behind them that can all be no, that can all be you know discovered through their value, their solar energy, and the energy field that they're projecting out into the universe. So when we say that words have, power, or there's power in the tongue, or mind your words, right? be careful what you say, that you can speak life or death, right? That's real. These words, the everything that we say, everything that we hear, right? Everything that we're putting in our system has a value and an energy field all its own. And it has a purpose. Like I put alchemy in the chat. It's a two of spades. So it has a purpose and an energy and um, a calling, right? The solar value is 41. So it's calling on you for some reason that the neutrinos, the little tiny bits of that energy are permeating. It's already introducing itself into your system before you even met us. It's what drags us into spaces, even though we may not know why we're there, right? It creates that heat within you, that passion to want to commune with that energy field, right? Whether it's a lover, whether it's, a child, whatever it is, whether it's the last thing you ate, right? That you really needed to have in your system that lit your body up when you put it in your system. There was a solar value or an energy field that was in there. So everything has that energy. And with cardology, even with numerology, you're able to break down these energy fields and really get them down to basics. And that's the biggest plus about Sensei and I working together. We're all about the basics. Everything has gotten real complex. Everything has gotten real over processed, right? So when we can break it down to the basics, we can break down the meaning of it, and we can really find the why is it calling me, the how is it calling me, the how is it healing me, the how is it helping me. So I'll be sharing a lot of that in this course. I'll be breaking things down to give not only you guys, but Sensei and I, like the meat, right? This is about the meat and not the bones of the what we're learning in alchemy. So I'm excited to share these interesting values with you guys in these cards.
Gratitude, Steph. Appreciate you. And one thing about a solar value, I want y'all to understand the word solar. And this is when you see the word soul a lot, even in the Bible, right? Solomon's temple. Anybody done heard me live or heard me speak? I often speak of Solomon's temple a lot because there's a lot of alchemical symbols in Solomon's temple. You would see the symbol of the sun and the moon on one aspect of the temple. You would also see the depictions of Gemini and Cancer on the other sides of the pillars of the temple. The reason why is because this shows you the gateway of consciousness. Gemini ruling the mind, and Cancer ruling the emotions of the waters of the body, right? So you got to have a mind to go with this body. This is going to bring you in the power of the marriage of the pillars of communication, how you feel and how you speak, right? This is Mercury and the moon, okay? So when you're dealing with soul, you're dealing with sun. Now, what generates that? The sun generates all of that. This is why Solomon, soul of Mon, soul and moon, right? The sun and moon must generate you. These are the luminaries. So everything in this reality is solar. You want to tell me how? Burn anything. Put fire to anything. You're going to see little orange specks. It's going to turn to smoke. It's going to turn to dust. It's going to go back to the essence from which it came. This is the power of fire, and why fire is such a powerful alchemical symbol throughout spirituality and religion. Hell, being purged in eternal fire so you can be refined in the soul. Don't they always talk about fire? Even Jesus representing the aspect of the sun. So all this is alchemy. So I love that you talk about the solar principles. And if anybody, I'm gonna help y'all give some basics. We're gonna give some basics with this. So whenever you hear her say a solar value, or she post that in the chat, all right, I want you to write this down. This is going to be a way for you to research. Whenever she posts a value of something, a solar value, I want you to go to Google, or remember to Google the solar value, write down that number, and go to Google and type in that number, solar value of that number, I Ching, all right, or gene key. Okay, this will lead you to the energy of the essence of what we're talking about. Okay, so that's just one aspect of what you'll be learning inside of the alchemy course. So I just dropped a little gem that you'll be getting inside of the alchemy course: how to marry solar values, what they look like, and how to understand even the solar value of your own name. how to understand the solar value of different aspects and different placements in your own chart. It can unlock a lot of shit. What I have experienced and what I know Stephanie has experienced is that what you watch is people start to have aha moments. And in those aha moments, your mind starts to open up now because it's not locked in one dimension anymore. This is the power of angels and demons. So people can be your angels because angels and demons is angles and dimensions. When you allow, let's say in the broken, this is what a light come in, right? So when you start questioning, this is when you acclimate yourself to knowledge. When you embrace your ignorance is the only time you find knowledge. So when you acclimate yourself, understand the shit you don't know, you open up yourself to a lot of shit that you can learn, okay? So that's why a wise man knows he don't know shit. And that's why the best student must remain a teacher, okay? So no matter what I know, I'm always learning, okay? So I'm here to learn with y'all. So within that, I'm gonna share the screen right quick as I go off into oh yeah, when I'm look down, here we go, right here. Magnus Opus. All right, I'm gonna share this screen. I'm gonna break down to y'all. Now, what you have called here is these are, and the reason why I went to Wikipedia, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna use a lot of Google. Okay, the reason why is because I want to show y'all the basics on how to look up this information. And I want to give y'all something that y'all can go back to yourself. Now, a bunch of the information that we'll be giving in the course, it won't be coming from Google at all. I'm telling you, it's going to be coming from my information, my gathering, and the information that Stephanie has gathered in her works, and we're going to combine it together. That's what you're going to get in the course. So tonight, I'm going to be showing y'all how you can go find a lot of this information on Google, but I'm going to help break a lot of this down for you and help you understand what this is, okay? Now, within alchemy, you have what is called the Magnus Opus. Now, anybody who studies mythology or anything like that, you might see this a lot. This is the great work, okay? Now, this is dealing with the process of the prima materia, right? So this is to create the philosopher's stone. This is transmutation. This is turning lead into gold. So within the Hermetic, what you're dealing with is something called the Hermetic principles. All right, and that's why they call this Hermeticism when they deal with the philosophy of religious system based off purported teachings of Hermes Trismegistus. Now I'm gonna tell you, we went through a period of what's called Hellenization. Hermes Trismegistus is the depiction of what we know as Tahuti, right? Now, what that is a depiction of the ibis. When you see in Lion King, all right, Rafiki is an aspect of Tahuti, all right. When you see certain things in certain movies, when you see the monkey or anybody spitting wisdom, even what is that? The Jiminy Cricket, the cricket that was always telling the puppet, the cricket that was in Pinocchio. All right, he represents an aspect of Tahuti. Anytime you see anybody giving a person wisdom, but they the only person that can see that person in a movie, this is going to give you the essence of Tahuti. All right. So this is the wise one. Because now you're marrying the essence of the moon with the intellect. This is the intuition and the knowledge, the intuition and the intellect coming together, the left and the right brain. So Hermes also represents the aspect of Mercury. So whenever you think about Hermeticism, I want you to think about the properties of Mercury, okay? And what Mercury rules in communication, but it also rules transformation of the body and how Mercury moves energy through the body, okay? Now, the reason why is because Mercury is more dense than water, meaning that if you were to drop an anvil in a pool of water, it will sink. You drop an anvil in a pool of Mercury, it will float. This is the reason why you can float on a bed of water. The reason why you can lose, you know how you do in a pool, and you got to lose all your sense and kind of relax and let the water carry you. Mercury is responsible for that. It's the primary reason why you can float on top of water in a pool without fighting the water. If you just relax and the water will carry you. It's one of the same principles that allows your consciousness to be born inside of your mother's womb. Okay? So this is the power of alchemy and these principles in our body. Now, when you're dealing with this energy, the first stage of what we're going to call, this is called the negredo. Now, this is going to deal with the shadow self. On her, dealing with the blackening or the melanosis. Now, when you're dealing with this negredo, what it means is it symbolizes the initiation stage. This is dealing with dissolution and decomposition. Okay. Now, this is also going to be dealing with the shadow self. This is also dealing with your Saturn energy. So anytime you see Saturn, Saturn deals with a negredo or a blackening. So because Saturn deals with a decomposition. This is why Saturn rules the blood and the bones of the body. Okay. Now, I'm also, let me go into here real quick, y'all. Because I want to go down here first and I'm going to give y'all some more stuff about these alchemical symbols and what is like the bird and the raven and the swan could be used to represent the progression through the colors. Because now you're dealing with the aspect of what we know as Phoenix and what we know as all of these energies is dealing with Pluto. This is how you rise from something. Okay. So when you're dealing with the representation of a thought process and how you got to go through these 4 stages, this is going to be the dissolution. This is also going to be, let me go to this other stage down here. Where we at with this one? Magnus Opus. This is the albedo. All right. This is the whitening. Now in this stage, this represents the purification. Now this is gaining clarity of vision. Now this deals with the moon and also governing emotions. Okay. So I'm gonna go to this stage and see what they got us for right here for us in here. All right. Now, this is dealing with being cleansed or cooked extensively to the uniform of black matter. Now, I want y'all to understand what that means. This is like going through a process of purging. Whenever you're going through a dark night of the soul, whenever you feel like everything is being stripped away from you, whenever you feel like you're drowning in the sea of your emotions, even when you go through stages of your life called the Saturn return, which happens around 25 through 29, 27 through 29, 27 through 30. These are the stages when all your toys are taken away. So when Saturn comes in, it takes you through the dark night of the soul because it wants you to integrate the shadow self. The shadow self is that part of that self that you remain hidden. And as you can see, the analytical, philosophical, the shadow is in the unconscious. The unconscious deals with the subconscious, but this is what wants to become conscious. You get what I'm saying? There's parts of you that want to thrive. This is all linked to Saturnian energy. So this is why when you're dealing with the philosopher's stone and how you have to go in and mine certain things, this is why I said this is compared to the black work of the alchemist, right? So in alchemy, using this type of energy, I would have to bring in a Saturnian energy. This would be anything linked to Saturn. Saturn deals with the roots of a tree. Okay. So whenever you're doing root work, this is Saturn work. You understand? This is also why in American tradition or in American language, you have root words. It's a spell casting language because it's rooted in Saturn. All right. That's why this process is dealing with the individualization of you, and on the other hand, subject to the process where it's brought into why you got to go through a painful growth of the shadow aspects of yourself. So it can describe a moment of maximum despair, right? So this is how these stages come into our life and how we begin to find different places of structure because Saturn wants you to build more structure. Saturn is the judge on the bench. Okay. Now watch this. I'm gonna show y'all something because I gotta do this for y'all right quick. All right. Let me go to here. Saturn. I'm gonna show y'all how to do this here. Cause when you go on this web, man, it's a trip the way you gotta have to let me see here. Would you want to say something still?
I was adding to the chat. I just wanted to say magnum opus is the king of spades.
Hmm.
Yo, it's a combination of everything, right?
Mhm.
And then I was adding the stages. 2 of the stages are king energy as well, stage 2 and stage 4. So I was posting that in the chat.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
when we're looking at alchemy versus, is it me or is the screen stuck?
Now I'm over here looking for this other string. Go ahead.
Okay, got you. When we're looking at alchemy, the two of spades, it's sitting down in Neptune, but the Neptune card to alchemy is magnum opus. So they're within each other's energy field. Is magnum opus the Sanskrit
Uh-uh.
lang-
Yes, it is. It actually is, but it's the Latin name.
Latin name? Got you. So we can see the energy field and the vibration. The For alchemy, like I told you guys earlier, the two of spades is the solar value is 45. So when you're looking up the energy of 45 versus 52, you'll see um how some things are switched to make it seem especially in Neptune, like a delusion, right? But magnum opus is a combination of everything in existence. It's all the cards put together, right?
Yes, it is. All the cards put together. Let's see here. Cause I'm gonna go to this thing. Now, I want to go to some Saturn things for you. I want to show y'all some stuff on Saturn. As we go through these planetary energies here. Let me get to this down screen. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Let me get to this thing. Second channel. Let's go through.
So let me just add while Sensei is getting there. Negredo, the Saturn, the bones, and the blood, y'all, is a seven of spades. That shadow work is real when it comes to the seven of spades. The solar value is 46. Here, you have to connect with the universe. You have to be, outside of yourself, right? And searching for that higher consciousness or tap in. You have to be out of your mind to tap in to your higher consciousness. So, man, that the fact that that word says it all in its solar value and its placement in the grand solars is amazing to me. That it's the combination of all the sevens. Seven of spades has all the sevens in it. So here is the bridge work. This is alchemy is work that only you can do, right? It's like we can lead you to the water, but you got to be able to pick it up and put it in your own mouth. You got to be able to, sit with it. And mm, part of the solar value energy is the symbolism, right? The symbols or you know, the energy field is like what do you call it? Mm, like these time capsules that we're opening up. You ready, Sensei?
Yeah. Okay. Now this is what I want to get into right here. Because Saturn is a very key component of inside of this. I want y'all to understand Saturn in our biological makeup. I love where you went with that step because that's exactly where I was going. I understand the power of Saturn in our life. Because this is what I wanted. This is what we're gonna make simple. We were saying we're gonna give the basic because I don't want to give y'all all these words and now y'all not understand and walk away like I don't know what the hell I just learned. All right. Now I want you to understand the power of Saturn in your life. Now, Saturn deals with the energy of your blood, your bones, your teeth. All right. Saturn is the reason why. No, I'm gonna do this first. Let's do this. All right. I'm gonna go Saturn and the body. All right. Saturn and the body. All right. Saturn and the body system. Let's just do that simple Google right there. All right. Now, Saturn fun facts all about Saturn. See that don't give me what I want. Hold on. Saturn.
Maybe add the word astrology.
Yeah, because this game, me, what's her name? Saturn. All right, here we go. Now, Saturn is going to deal with this energy of your blood, your bones. All right. Saturn is also going to deal with how it governs every 7 years of your life. Saturn deals with discipline. It deals with obligations. It deals with structures. It deals with restrictions, limitations, old age, time, delays, authority, productivity, traditions, career. So when you're dealing with Saturn, this is everything about your career. It's everything about your social life. Saturn is the judge sitting on the bench in the black robe. Saturn also deals with Chronos. This is dealing with Greek mythology of like how time, this is why you reap what you sow. Now, this is also going to deal with where they get the energy of Saturn or Satan from. This is also Santa, all right? Because Saturn opposes everything that the sun does in astrology. So Saturn in mythology, Saturn in alchemy is very key to your life because the reason why you can take yourself through hell and back based off your own choices, based off your own limitations, based off your own unwillingness to break comfort zones. Because sometimes all this discipline and hard work, it doesn't sound like fun, but without Saturn, everything will collapse because it will give life structure. So when you're dealing with the human body, Saturn rules the skeletal system. It also rules the skin, the ligaments, the knees, and the body, and body protein. Now, Saturn is all about that stiffness, that rigidity, because Saturn deals with a lot of density. All right. So this is why I talked about in my live the other day on Facebook about how Saturn is going to deal with your knees, and the reason why, and I've said this on Clubhouse before, the reason why you can walk around with all the weight that you have in your system or in your body and you don't feel it. So Saturn is what's keeping you upright. Now, this is why when you start to feel more heavy, you feel more restricted. This is our Saturn. This is why we can have with blood issues, all this type of shit that can be going on, heart issues. Now, when you're dealing with this 29-year cycle, this is why everybody on this feed, everybody in this room around the age of 29, 30 years old, 27, you went through some type of restrictions in your life. Now, what happens is if you made the right investments around the age of 25, around the age of 23 to 25, you may have got a lot of rewards from 27 to 29. You may have gotten married, you may have moved, you may have bought your first house, you may have done a lot of these Saturn things because you bossed up and you did the things you needed to do. Then they gave you opportunity to do what you want to do. Because Saturn dealing with every 7 years of our life is the reason why we develop our thought processes. Now, so how could they use Saturn in your everyday world? Because Saturn is the reason why you go to work to get paid. Because Saturn rules the 10th house and it deals with why you in a search for a career. Do you see why they want everybody in this world to have a career, especially everybody in America? Everybody in this, you gotta find a career, or else you ain't gonna have no money. This is Saturn. So this is how, when people want to understand how they're using these energies against you, this is it right here, y'all. The fact that you got to have a job, the fact that you got to go to work to get paid is Saturn. I want y'all to understand how deep this shit is. I'm gonna say this shit one more time. The fact that you got to go to work to get paid is the law of Saturn, because your karma, your rewards is based off Saturn. How much time you put in something. This is why it governs time. Saturn is the teacher, the judge that tests to see if you learned the lessons in which you choose to learn in this lifetime. Because if you don't, that's why Saturn can rule the father. And if your daddy ain't there, guess what your mama started playing? See, now we're getting off into what you alchemize. Because Saturn is your relationship with the authority figures in your life and who raised you, the restrictions that you were raised with. Right? If you didn't have your daddy, that was a different wound for you. If your mama played your daddy, that was a different wound for you. If you were raised in the court system, if you were raised as an orphan, if you were raised and you didn't have your mama. something Saturn had to come in and teach you. You see how no matter what you went through in your life, or your mama, your daddy chose not to be your mama or your daddy, guess what started to teach you? The outside world, discipline, obligation, structure, all these, you got to learn all these lessons from somewhere. So what are you actually alchemizing when you're talking about the dark night of the soul? You alchemizing your whole reaction to authority. You're re-alchemizing your whole experience with that Saturn is the urge for stability and safety. If Saturn deals with your blood, your bones, and your teeth, and all this good shit, then where you need to be more at home at. That's why it says you must overrule something. Now, Saturn opposing the sun, that means it can go against everything you want to do. You know how a child can't do everything they want to do? And then the older you get, you really don't want to be an adult no more. That's Saturn shit. The term elder comes from Saturn. All right. So anytime, a lot of times you having dark night of the soul is because you're restricting Saturn. You understand what I'm saying? So when you talking about the discovery of Uranus and Saturn also ruling the energy of Aquarius, now you understand why Aquarius is going to be dealing with so many restrictions on humanity. Because it's still going to be bringing in, this is why during this age, you're going to see a lot of restrictions on social media. Okay. This is why you're going to see all this shit during this age, because this is how the zodiacs play a part in how they use these energies into our everyday life. All right. So I wanted to show y'all the energy of Saturn just so you can fully see it and understand how this shit plays out. Because when you get in, when you get into a situation with the law, when you get into a situation where you got to pay a price on something, when you reap what you sow, when you put out something, you know damn well that shit gonna come back to you. That knowing that you have, that's Saturn. That energy, if you do this, you're gonna get this. You know, if you don't do this, you're gonna not get this. Or if you know if you do this, this can happen to you. You can go to jail. You can this is our Saturn reminding you. All right. So this is how when you say is when you are committed and patient, Saturn will stand by your side. All right. Because the reoccurring problems in your life, struggle with the family, struggle with finances. Some people can't find love, health issues, right? All this is Saturn. Because guess what? Life goes on, time keep on ticking. So you see how the internal suffering can be, I'm talking about literally predicated off the restrictions that you put on yourself.
Yeah. Okay,
This is
let me
why I
let
tell
you.
people most of the shit that you deal with is the shit that you said yes to. Because you said yes to something, you found yourself in a place that now you don't like it. This is Saturn. So that's why when you deal with where is your Saturn placement, what is in your chart, these are the things we'll be teaching you in the class. You find Saturn in your chart, you find what you got to alchemize during your dark night of the soul. You understand what I'm telling you? So when you find the aspect of the marriage of what Saturn and the moon influences in your chart, you will find the dark night of the soul and why you're going through such a mood change. Because when you're dealing with certain struggles in your life in certain areas, this is going to be the placing of Saturn. Saturn also rules fears in astrology. All right. So that Saturn gives you a lot of places to find where you find your own fears and your own doubts and your own securities getting in your way. Because Capricorn season marks the beginning of winter, right? This is why we go through astrological changes and also nature go through changes. And when you're dealing with nature, when it gets cold outside, you get what I'm saying? When it's cold outside, shit gets dense, shit gets thick, right? The nighttime get darker. You understand? This is dealing with harshness. Why do you think Capricorns can have a harsh, cold ass nature and not give a fuck? So you see what Saturn is teaching you? So anybody on this goddamn Zoom that have issues with Capricorns in your life, now you understand why you keep meeting Capricorns and going through the shit you're going. Anybody that's having issues with Capricorns in your life, I want you to put an 8 in the goddamn chat. Put an 8 in the chat for me, please. Anybody that has had issues with Capricorn energy or Capricorns in their life, any type of way that you can identify with Capricorn energy, and you can say that I've seen some Capricorn issues in my life and I might be going through them right now. I want you to put an 8 in the chat. I want to put if I don't get 33 goddamn eights, somebody in this motherfucker got a bunch of money, and somebody in this motherfucker ain't never went through shit and like the where they didn't get, or they got everything they wanted. Whoever don't put an 8 in this goddamn chat, always got everything they wanted. Nothing was ever taken away from them. They never had to deal with people and they shit. They never felt restrictions. They never felt like everything was going against them. Like
And we need your bank account information.
now I need your bank account. I need your social. Matter of fact, I need an application. I need to come to work for you.
Hey, Sensei, Saturn cardology is at 9 of hearts, and it's semi, fixed with that 7 of diamonds. So this is 7 of diamonds energy, y'all. Who got problems with the 7 of diamonds or the 9 of hearts? I'm just saying, who got problems having their wishes fulfilled, manifesting? Put your 8 in there. Stop playing.
Yes. This is the energy of why, if you look at your Saturn, if you look at your birth chart, if you understand the power of what's going on in your life, and why you've had restrictions with your father, why you've had restrictions with your mother, why you've had restrictions with resources, why you've had restrictions with learning how to depend on yourself, stand up on your own, boss up, do all the things that can be showing you don't give a fuck. Why have you had these issues? This is what you're alchemizing. That's why Saturn is the planet of time and patience. See? And Saturn rules time, and it also rules we're in no rush. That's why when you're dealing with the Aries and dealing with certain energy, wherever Saturn falls, it's going to slow you the fuck down. See? That's why if Saturn falls in issues and Saturn falls in Aries, it's going to be a hot-headed, impatient ass person. You see how Saturn automatically make this energy feel restricted? Because try to slow Aries down. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they ready to go. Aries on go. And so Saturn's like, nah, slow your ass down. So every time you want to do some shit, Saturn like, slow your ass down. So Saturn is that energy that slow your ass down. And it's that energy that comes into your life and takes all your toys away. Okay? Everything that passes through time is ruled by Saturn. Physical objects, traditional shit, old age wisdom, all this shit come with time. You understand? The lessons that can be learned over time. This is why there's a word called Sankofa, because sometimes you bring forth because that persistence, what you keep going through, what cycles keep repeating in your life, what have you yet to learn? So this is like the responsibilities of life and the life lessons and the hierarchy and the attributed to this energy of Saturn. So it can persist for decades, you know what I'm saying? Hard, stiff. And Saturn is one of those planets that can give you traditional shit that you dealt with. The same restrictions that your mama, your daddy didn't honor. The thing that they didn't break free. That shit can be put into your life. This can be obligations and shit. This is why a lot of people born as Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, more than likely, you had a lot of obligations on you early on in your life. You've been a hard-working person your whole life. You've been somebody that had to pursue and perceive and go. If we got any Capricorns in the chat, I want you to give me an 11 in the chat if we got a Capricorn in here. Now, let's put a 10 in the chat. Any Capricorns in the room, give me a 10. Give me a 10 in the chat, any Capricorns that can relate to some of these things and say, damn, Saturn been on me my whole life, because Saturn would be your ruling planet. All right. So Saturn would also come into your life as a Capricorn and bring you a lot of things. Because Saturn also rules career ambitions, authority figures. That's why Saturn can be professions in science, career, military, government. This is why most Capricorns gonna have careers in this area. This is the power of what you gotta alchemize in your life, beautiful soul. So we helping y'all breaking. This is the Negredo stage. Just one stage. Now think about how deep this shit go. All right. We talking about a stage in your life to where you got to find more discipline through these limitations. You dealing with the influence of what's going to be happening with your bones, back issues, knee issues, bone issues, all this shit that you going through shit mentally, going through shit outside of your life. You see how this shit can make somebody want to check out? You see how Saturn fucking with you, you can say the devil fucking with you? Like straight up. If Saturn fucking with you, you'll think the devil fucking with you.
Mm.
Like that's the power of Saturn because Saturn gonna fuck with you through the people you love the most. What do say? God damn it! What do the Bible say? The devil gonna attack you through the people you love the most. Now you see why Saturn is Satan. You see why all this shit you gonna be going through? Because you've been trying to work, you've been trying to do this, and nothing you do is ever good enough for these goddamn people, man. You can end up taking on a career and living up to your whole parents and all these people expectations and never give yourself the authority to do what the fuck you want to do. Saturn wants you to let go of any thought process of money as the root of all evil, any thought process of greed, any thought process of that everything is working against you. That's why it makes a full circle in 30 years. So Saturn returns when it transit over your life. So this is why a lot of times during that age, around the age of 30, a lot of people gonna go through the dark night of the soul. This is where Jesus died and was resurrected. Stop playing with me. Stop playing. I've had to pause on that one. This is where Jesus died and was resurrected. You understand? Because he had to arise. You see this energy put up here with this here? Watch this here. Where does motherfucker go? I know I saw it. Jupiter can give you an oversight, an overnight success, but this is most often not permanent. Watch this. Hold on. Wait. If you gonna bring in Jupiter and Saturn, right? Jupiter and Saturn, so you can achieve a lot of overnight success, but the money won't stick. The scripture says a fool and his money shall soon part. Do y'all see the alchemy in the Bible? I mean, I ain't mean to go here, but it's just there. I mean, I can't help it. I'm Gemini right now. I'm just putting shit together. You understand?
And Sensei, the King of Spades, Magnum Opus, is the Saturn line.
Wow.
All the way down, that's all Saturn.
So tell people what the King of Spades is, Steph.
You know, everybody's scared of that Joker. That Joker got people. I did a reading today, and she said, I got a king. I'm facing that King of Spades next year. The King of Spades wants you to stand up and show off, pop your collar, talk about it. Who are you? Every time you pass the King of Spades, it's a mirror reflection. When you're next to the King of Spades in cardology, the reflection is you. So any combination with the King of Spades is that energy. Eight of Diamonds next to the King of Spades is the eight. You get the Eight of Diamonds. Your way through to the God or the complete. It's all 52 cards. The solar value of the King of Spades is 52. So it's every card in the deck. It's rare. It's fixed. It don't ever move. You always got to pass it like Monopoly. You got to pass go to collect that $200. So you always going to have to stand up to the king, and it sits in the sun and it sits in the Saturn line. So here is where when we talked about when Sensei talked about Saturn and having to what did you say about the sun?
Which part?
Everything.
Or how
Everything
Saturn
that
opposes the sun?
Yes, opposes everything that the sun does, right? So when you in the sun line, you are going to hit the King of Spades and have to talk about what you learned on your journey through the 52 cards, right? And talk about and if you're a fixed card or a semi-fixed card, you may never hit it with your sun or whatever card you have that's position fixed or semi-fixed. But the cards that do move, your voice, how your mind, right, how you love, how you passion, you're going to have to stand up, and definitely how you Saturn. What are your rules? What are your restrictions? What governs what's holding you back? What do you have to create better boundaries with? You're going to have to talk to that king. And the interesting part of Saturn is a two of clubs. The word Saturn is a two of clubs. So it's crowned by the card that sits in Saturn. Saturn is crowned by that nine of hearts. And it also sits in that Saturn line. So you're going to get all that work in alchemy to overcome. And instead of, we've been doing it the hard way. We go over here, we get a little work, we go over there and get a little work, we take a break and be like, ooh, that was a lot. In this alchemy course, you get to get it all, get the whole blueprint for the work. and not have to go everywhere all over the place and find the blueprint. So this is dealing with that five of spades, definitely. Excuse me, that king of spades, definitely. I wonder what the five of spades is talking about.
Clearly, it's got some shit to say because I bet you we're finna get into that type of energy right now. Now, I want y'all to understand something because this is gonna be dynamic where I'm taking you now because we're going through the stages. So we just left the Negredo stage, the blackening. Okay. So we just left that stage where you're gonna be dealing with the Sagittarian energy, the restrictions. It's gonna be also when you're dealing with that stage, it's gonna also lead you to a lot of reparenting. Okay. Now this is why it leads directly to the next stage, which is called the albedo. All right. Now we went over this earlier in the Zoom, and of course it'll be in the recording. But this is the widening stage. Now this represents purification, illumination, gaining clarity or vision. I'm gonna say that one more time. We just came, you in the blackening, you're in the dark night of the soul. This is how this gonna go. These are the stages. I'm just simplifying them to you because your personal experience is gonna amplify where you at within these stages. I'm gonna say that one more time. Your personal experiences will amplify where you are in these stages. Now we're giving you a way to be able to look into your own birth chart, to your own card spread, and see where these cards are. See where these planets are. You can see why you go through the shit that you go through in the blackening stage, in the whitening stage, in all these phases of you alchemizing your own experience as life. As you turn your lead to gold, as you go through your magnus opus, your great works. That's why we be like, do the work, do the work. Y'all think this shit just came from nowhere? You think people saying do the work for nothing? This is a magnus opus. This is your great works. This is your grand finale, baby. Imagine today is your last day on earth. Imagine tonight is it for you. Imagine you get all this information and you can't go out here tomorrow and apply it. Imagine you get all this divine stuff to let you know that there is nothing stopping you but the way you acclimate yourself to this energy that is in your being to express. The sun is in you, the moon is in you, everything we're talking about is in you. If you express these things, these are your great works. This is alchemy. This is how you turn your lead into gold. Imagine you can't wake up and do that. Have you committed? Have you been devoted to your magnus opus? Can you look at your life and say, these are my great works? Stop playing with yourself, okay? It's time to alchemize this shit, man. Stop playing with yourself, all right? Now, you're dealing with the moon. That's where we're going with this here, okay? Now, the moon in astrology, I love the moon in astrology. It's one of my favorite planets to talk about, my favorite luminaries. You want to know why? Because it deals with the mama. The moon deals with the mother. It deals with the madre. It deals with the myrrh. It deals with illumination. It deals with intuition. It deals with feeling. It deals with emotion. It deals with the 72% of your body, which is the waters of your body. This is the power of the moon. This is why you went through a gestation in your mama's stomach and why you went through a new moon to a full moon phase as a woman when you were pregnant. Straight up. You were illuminated. And I love when Stephanie, she got 9 beautiful souls that chose her as a vessel. So that means she mooned, mooned, took all them 9 children through motherfucking 9 gestations. So, hey, man, you know, no matter how much we understand the powers that our mothers have y'all go through a lot of shit. The power of feeling, the power of knowing that our mothers went through some shit. Your grandmama went through some shit. Your mama's mama went through some shit. Your daddy's mama went through some shit. Now you talking about one of the most powerful aspects of where we get our memory from. You understand me? The mitochondrial DNA. If anybody ever wants to know where the matrix exists inside of the body, here it is. Look it up. The word matrix comes from an actual piece of DNA that they cannot identify, that we know as the Eve gene. The reason why they study Henrietta Lacks DNA the way they did. The reason why, as a woman, y'all can transmute so much goddamn dark matter, and you got the memory and the information to turn motherfucking darkness into light. You are the darkness that birthed the light. I gotta do a pause on the moon, Steph. You come on there, I gotta do this here because now we talking about the essence of where you came from. That's why they dropping all the avatars, and from the waters you came, into the waters you shall return, and then the waters are your friend and be one with the waters. And this is why a lot of us are still seeking to get back into the pussy today. You hear me? Stop playing. You understand? Because the waters, baby, the heavens, that's heaven. This is why anybody walking this earth came from a womb. They ain't come from no man's rib. So I want y'all to understand the power of religion and why we usurp the woman, because it takes away from the power of the moon. The power of the moon is your connection. It is your silver cord. It is why you feel what you feel. It is what you got from your mama. Okay? This is why we're so connected to empathy. I want y'all to understand the power of this whitening stage and how this can be your roller coaster right here. Because your moon sign is your mood. The moon changes every 2.5 days, every 2.5 weeks. This is why we get moon cycles. This is why we go from new moon to waning to waxing to crescent to, you know what I'm saying, to full, the gestation of many changes and the many moves of the woman. Stop me when I'm lying around this motherfucker. You don't know what mood your woman or your mama gonna be in, goddamn it. You just gotta go in there. Every day is a temperature check, goddamn it. You understand me? Cause and what they say, happy wife, happy life, and all this old shit, right? So you gotta understand, and some of the most powerful shit is when you arguing with a woman and if she right, she right. you ain't gonna win. You understand? So when you're dealing with the power of a woman, you're dealing with the power of emotion. You're dealing with the power of why we learn to love and why we learn to feel, and we're dealing with the air flow of life. And that's why I love how this is saying the moon has a big influence over us, and how more important the moon is not just a big object in the sky. You understand me? Because the moon is dealing with, in astrology, is your soul. It's the most ancient part of you that is strongly connected with the divine unconscious and the instincts. This is why the fourth house in astrology is the house of spiritual initiation. This is why when you meet a Cancer, you understand? Your mama is Cancerian. All Black people are Cancerian by nature, meaning we feel each other more immensely than any other race on this planet. No disrespect to any goddamn body. But I'm just telling you the power of melanin. I'm telling you the power of science. I'm telling you the power of the thymus. I'm telling you the power of the thalamus. I'm telling you the power of something called polymers. This is science. I'm telling you the power of something called polyrhythms. This is how we acclimate ourselves to the beat of our own drum. So that soul is an ancient part of you because you get it from your mama. It is your matriarch. So the moon is your matriarchal connection. Okay? I want you to understand what you're going through when you're going through a whitening stage. Remember, this represents purification. It represents illumination. It represents gaining clarity of vision. This is why it corresponds to the moon and governing your emotions and reflection. Tell me that you don't need a time to reflect. That's why Cancers rule the mirror. Any mirror in your house is the moon. You understand what I'm telling you? Anytime you go look and mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the prettiest of them all? You understand? But your reflection can be one thing, but your soul can say another. You understand me? Oh man, see, this is the moon, baby. This is your nature. You can't hide it. Whether you like it or not, this is going to show itself because it's going to come out when you feel a certain type of way. Okay. Now, this is when we get to the facts or the aspect of your feelings are not facts. See, this is why you got to understand, or you will learn lessons throughout your life that nobody cares about how you feel but you. Your emotions are your own to emote. This is the moon wanting to flow through you because it's your soul wanting to flow freely. But if you feel too much, you will drown in the sea of your own emotions. Water energy. Oh, I'm crying. I don't know why. That's why they call cancers crybabies. Okay. It's why they call cancer crybabies. It's called cancer start crying. I don't know why they crying. They just feeling some type of way and just start crying. And some of the most cold cancers don't cry. So you dealing with a mama that'll whoop your ass and be unapologetic about it. You had to get this work. You dealing with a woman that'll hurt your ass and be like, yeah, nigga, you needed it. Obviously, I was the one that had to give it to you. So you dealing with the cold nature of a woman when you're dealing with the moon. How her mood can swing on you. Because when you're dealing with this in the birth chart, this dealing with the big three, and they call it the sun, the moon, the rising. All right. So your rising sign is how you acclimate yourself to the world, how the world sees you, and how you see the world. Your sun sign is your vitality, is why you're driven, how you do the shit you do, why you think the way you think, why you move about the shit the way you do, why you learn it the way you do. The moon is your nature. When you get past all of this, this is the most constant part of your ass right here. See, a lot of people think it's their sun and they rise and stuff. You don't have no idea how your moon keep coming up on your ass because every time you start to feel anything, it's going to drive the sun. What do they say the sun and the moon do? They combat against each other. The moon do everything the sun does. You want to be day, I want to be night. You want to think, I want to feel. You see the separation? You see what the white, I'm taking y'all through the whitening now. Just stay with me. Okay, I might be talking pretty fast here, but stay with me now. Because when we dealing with the biological aspects of the moon, guess what it governs? The lymphatic system. Okay. Your lymphatic system is also connected to your kidneys. This is why cancer rules the gut and why when you're feeling some type of way, you will emotional eat. This is going to equate to why you have emotional weight around the waist, right? You start eating shit and then your face break out, eating a bunch of sugar, eating ice, right? Eating crunchy shit, eating hot shit, eating spicy shit, eating oily shit, eating fried shit, eating sugary shit. All this is because the body wants to express something. The moon cannot be overlooked in your birth chart. This is like trying to overlook the connection with your mom and say, I just can't stand her. Now, that's the reason why you came back to illuminate something that your mother could not. This is why I challenge every woman. I always say, if you look at your child and you look at, if you know your child's birth chart, if you don't, look it up. Look at your child's moon sign. It's going to be a direct connection of the things that you experience at that time of your child's birth during the first and the second trimesters of your children, of your pregnancy. This is direct reflection of the emotional connection to our mamas. We can feel our mamas in the womb. We can feel her pain. We can feel her insecurities. We can feel her doubts. We can feel her fears. We can feel her joy. We can feel her love. We can feel her warmth. We can feel all of these things as children because the first thing that's formed in your body is the heart. So when you understand the power of the kidneys, and the kidneys is your connection to your ancestors. I'm gonna say that one more time. The kidneys are your connection through to your ancestors. Why do you think it can feel like you go through so much shit emotionally, especially when you start to heal yourself? When you start to re-nurture yourself, this is your moon activator. Stephanie has some inner child meditations. I suggest that y'all hit her up and get some. Because when you're dealing with this aspect of going within and re-nurturing and reparenting yourself, you're gonna need to go through a gestation. You see how you got to go back through the 40 days and 40 nights that Jesus went through? When they say Jesus fasted 40 days and 40 nights, what y'all think he was doing? When you fast, what you think you're doing? You're purifying the waters of your body. So you see what happens when you go through a whitening? Oh, your body comes online. You start not wanting to eat certain shit no more, right? You start to understand your lymphatic system, your waters of your body. You start to purge. You want to detox. All this happening during the whitening because you're coming out of the blackening. See, this is natural stages. Ain't nobody anybody in this chat that can identify with just the beginnings of what I'm saying about the moon. And if you can start to see the connections of your emotion to your mama and how your mama might deal with mood shit the same way you do, and how no matter how hard you work not to become your mama, you can see those things in you. If you can be honest with yourself, because you can't heal what you don't reveal, the moon. See? You cannot heal what you do not reveal. If you can identify with this information of the moon that I'm giving right now and the whitening stage, put a 2 in the chat. I just want you to put 2 in the chat. 2 represents the moon. All right. Now, when you're dealing with this, your intuition, how we trust our intuition. How many times you go against your gut? This is the moon. Okay. Every time you go against how you feel, every time you don't trust it and you get that gut feeling, this is why they say that the gut is the first brain. I see you over there want to come in, Steph. You want to jump in with something because you know I'll be done went off over it. You know how we can do now. What you got for the people?
No, I like that you going off. I was responding to somebody about the inner child meditation, but I'm over here doing the math. Lymphatic system is the king of clubs. So your lymph nodes, the lymph is a 9 of spades. So they want to be purged so that you can hold all the information inside of your energy field, so you can absorb the nutrients, so you can, you know what I'm saying, the things that you put in your body can be of use. So when you have those lymphatic drainage issues, when your lymph nodes are blocked, then your body can't absorb the information, right? The technology that the things that you're putting in it, it needs to function, right? So then you get the swellings and all the energy is not movable. I was looking at the moon, 5 of diamonds, the matrix, 7 of hearts. Like this energy of even the womb is the ace of diamonds. And it's funny because the womb crowns the moon, right? The ace of diamonds crowns the 5 of diamonds. So all of this energy can be found in the freedoms, in the new ideas, in this energy of pushing through. Diamonds push. Diamond's pressure. We looking at the moon like, oh, people will be like, oh, you on your cycle. You know what I'm saying? Cycle is a 10 of hearts, right? We're supposed to cycle it through things. And when we're talking about the moon, the 10 of hearts is the moon to the center of the universe, to Jupiter, the bag. Everybody want it, but they don't want to go through the cycles. They don't want to go through the process of getting it. So when we think about utilizing alchemy and going through from the blackening to the whitening and purifying and cleansing and letting it out and detoxing, it's something that we are fighting against. We fighting against knowledge of what, it's like you have larceny for what comes out of your system instead of having knowledge about how does that feel to be empty? You know what I'm saying? That's going to give you some knowledge. What does it feel like for my stomach to growl when it's really hungry? What does peristalsis feel like? Oh, I feel like I have okay, it's better. What does it feel like to release? When your body naturally works, if you're stagnated and you're not purifying and you're not letting go of this, the stuff that you're not the the goddess or god of your vessel, right? Stage 2 is a 13, right? Is it tell me how to say it again, Sensei. Albedo? Is
Yes,
Sensei?
albedo, albedo.
So it's a 13, which is the king of hearts,
Mm.
right? The heart sits Venus, Mercury. So here is everything that you're bringing into your system just based on your thoughts. And it's subconscious, right? So you're not purging your subconscious. You said something about being taking that time. You said something about taking your time by yourself, or you know, something about isolation here, right? Didn't you say
Mhm.
something?
Yep.
Reflection, taking that
Reflect.
time to reflect,
Mhm.
right? So really spending time, and you know why people don't want to do reflection? Because it's the 3 of diamonds. It's 29 degrees. You got to go back into that Saturn energy. You got to go back into that, that work.
Dark night of the soul.
Yeah, you got to go back into work. You got to always keep going back and forth between that reflection and that gaining the knowledge or the wisdom, right? Knowledge to wisdom, knowledge to wisdom. You got to keep going back and forth, and I think that that's where people don't want to really. And then sitting with it allows you to absorb it, right? A lot of this knowledge that we get in, we can't really use it, get beyond the wisdom to utilizing it because we don't let it sit. We don't sit with things. So the processing and allowing the stuff to, just sit back and let it talk talk back to you, right? Let it open up within you. That's that 29 degree, that shadow work. I think a lot of people get afraid of what's going to open up. The not knowing, right? The not knowing makes us not want to sit with it. But alchemy requires you to sit with it. And if you don't, like Sensei was saying in the beginning, if you don't, then you leave here with a lot of stuff unfinished, undone, right? What does that mean about your next lifetime? So yeah, I'm just sitting back enjoying you going off, because when I'm looking at the cycles and I'm notating everything, it's it's making me see how it's individual, but it's all connected to each cycle is connected one into the other.
Now, yeah, and it's beautiful because you can see that dance, and this can create that ebb flow or that seesaw battle that people can be in. Like, and I love how you pointed that out because if you don't spend enough time here in isolation, if you don't allow the whitening to actually purge you, like if you come out of this too quick, you're gonna end up going your ass back into the dark night of the soul and repeating cycles because the moon is it's a satellite. You want to know what they call the moon a satellite? I love when people say that. I thought the moon is a satellite. You don't understand the power of a satellite. What does a satellite do? It allows frequencies to be harnessed from an outer place onto this planet. So it amplifies. So the moon only influences the natural state of your fucking emotions. This is why, hence, at a full moon, the hospitals fill up. At a full moon, they are not doing any surgeries. And I'm gonna tell you another key too, and I'm gonna give y'all this for alchemy. Anybody that has any type of major surgeries or you feel like you might ever need one in your life, learn your moon sign and don't ever do a surgery under your moon sign. Most hospitals won't even take you during a full moon to do any type of surgery where it involves blood or cutting you. The reason why is because of the moon and the magnetism of it. You fuck around and bleed to death. You can Google how many deaths happen during a full moon in the hospital because of surgery. I'm just telling y'all how deep this shit is. The moon deals with the waters and it deals with the tides. So this is why a lot of time when you get illumination of the moon, aspected with another aspect of astrology like Pisces and all this other shit mixed with Saturn, you're gonna get cold rain. Okay. So this shit controls and it enhances or it also influences a lot of different shit. So when you're dealing with this moon every 28 days in your life, and that's why it's one of the most personal points in the chart because it's what's personal to you, what makes you feel good. And that's why it is the opposite, polar opposite of the sun. Because they represent opposite principles at the same time, but they complete each other. So the masculine principle is rational side, the embodied of the sun, while the moon represents the feminine principle, which is your intuition, the deep, the ancient, the instinctive side. Marry them both together, you get your wholeness. This is divinity. You marry the left and the right brain, the sun and the moon together. This is the whole journey of your life. I'm telling you how you just gonna go through stages now. Personal shit, you going, yeah, because that means that everything that you go through, you were supposed to go through in order to refine you in the aspects of your own soul's evolution around this motherfucker. Because your moon is going through a gestation. Don't you know that the equivalent of an 84-year life is 7 sun cycles and 1,008 moon cycles? I want y'all to understand how dynamic. Imagine if you would count your life in moon cycles. So even in certain astrological or certain places on this planet or geographical locations, they still use the moon as their calendar. Ethiopia calendar, all these different things, right? So the moon represents the opposite of the sun because the masculine principle is also dealing with distinction. Also, moon in astrology is the mother and the wife. Now, because of this energy, brothers, I want to tell y'all something. And women, y'all need to be mindful of this as well. Because of this energy, a man would naturally seek his lover or his mother, my bad, in his lover. Because of this energy, a man will naturally seek his mother in his lover. I'm going to say that one more time so it'll stick for some goddamn body in the back. This energy is the reason why a man will attract his mother and his lover. If he don't attract her, he want her. Sure, man, she need somebody mind me, my mom.
Yeah, and if she don't yell at him and beat on him, I'm just saying for some of them mamas, you don't like your daughter-in-law because she evil.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, Steph. This is why the next statement I was going to say is why relationships can be a part of your whitening. Relationships can be a part to send your ass back to the dark night of the goddamn soul. You stepping in, trying to over nurture, over mother, trying to be somebody goddamn mama. You step into these marriages and you become a competition with his mama. His mama not been. She's supposed to be. You can't. You want to become before the natural order. It don't work like that. Society told you none of he's married. He's supposed to be like now. What's gonna happen is if you don't recognize that he got issues here, he's going to have issues here because he got issues here. If he got issues in his moon sign, he gonna have issues here and issues here. If you got issues in your moon sign, you're gonna have issues here and issues here because when you meet your sun, your moon is gonna reflect and instinctively, automatically polarize and do the opposite of what this man is bringing you. Stop playing. This is science. Can't escape the shit. You will instinctively go against what this sun energy is bringing you because you are in opposition with your goddamn self and you think it's somebody else. So you see what the white stage is alchemized? You see why sometimes people got to be forced into isolation still? He just left me and cheated on me. He don't even want to sit already. Now you got to sit with all these emotions. Emotions make you cry sometimes. Emotions make you sad sometimes. And here you is eating ice cream and cake and you put on your fucking girl dress and niggas going out here saying, I don't love you, hoe, my nigga. I don't love you, hoe. Looking at his watch, looking at his phone. I hope this bitch called me, my nigga. Why you ain't call me? Nigga, I just thought you said you ain't love these hoes and you were good by yourself, man. That motherfucker tripping, my nigga. That mood swing shit. Your moon sign is going to show why. So where you are in your sun and your moon is a direct reflection of where you are in your relationship with your goddamn self and how you gonna show up in relationships in your life. That's why the moon, like I said a while ago, is the sign of Cancer and it's exalted in Taurus. I want y'all to understand the power of this shit here. Taurus rules your self-worth, your value systems, everyday needs being met. Cancer being exalted in Taurus is like saying, I don't care about this part. I'm just showing up as this part. This is why cancers can sometimes not care about your everyday needs being met, and you'll end up feeding theirs. I'll just tell you how it goes. Because the cancer can struggle with making everyday decisions for themselves. Because they got to feel good about some shit and they got to be in the mood to make some shit happen. That's why cancer will eat the same shit every day. They don't like to change the routine. They love comfort. They love the home. They love to be in the box. They love to be in the shell. Don't change shit up on no cancer. You understand me? So this is why this is exalted in the energy of Taurus, because it deals with the detriment of Scorpio in the code of Capricorn. Now, what that means is the moment that you lose care for something, you're not going to give a fuck about its well-being. This is going to transform you to boss up so you can finally walk through your dark night of the goddamn soul. I'm gonna walk y'all through that one more time. The moment you stop caring about certain people and their everyday needs being met and their values of you and what society expects of you and all this old shit, you will find your self-worth hurt. You will begin to transform these experiences and make them fun, make them your own. Scorpio, fall in love with the transformation. Now it's coming into a detriment because you coming out of the cold and you coming out of the frozen and you're going into the tundra. So you're going into the tundra with Capricorn. But you prepared if you come out of Scorpio the right way because you're moving into Sag and it's going to take you through the refinement of the soul. So Capricorn is saying, I know why I'm here. I know I can be cold. This is why the opposite of Capricorn is Cancer. Opposite of Cancer is Capricorn. That's why this house is the natural house, the fourth house, and the Capricorn has the 10th house. Do you see how this relationship between your fourth house activity and your 10th house activity goes into the blackening and the whitening stage? We talked about the 10th house with Saturn. We went directly to the fourth house with your mama. Both of these houses are social houses as well. And guess what these is? The 10th house is your money house, but if you only making money out of survival and it's not feeling good to you, eventually it's going to come to your detriment. It's going to come to your exaltation. You're going to have to let go of some shit that no longer serves you. This is what you're purging within the purification period. This is the clarity that you're looking for. You tired of the job? You tired of taking care of everybody goddamn else? You ready to reparent your motherfucking self? You got to give yourself permission to do that shit, but you got to go through some cold ass shit to do that, right? Then when you come out, people gonna say you acting funny and shit like a Capricorn. I ain't got time to play with y'all. I'm on a mission. I'm here to do some shit. I'm driven. I'm focused. I'm determined. All the things we talked about with Saturn. So that's how you go through these things. And also when you're dealing with this aspect of the emotional intuition, this impact over on your overall health. This is why women deal with fibroids, thyroids, fibromyalgia, lymphatic issues, right? You're dealing with also gallbladder issues. You're going to bring in digestive issues. This is going to bring in the function of the cell salt that corresponds with this energy of the moon. It's called sodium chloride. I want y'all to write that down. Sodium chloride is associated with the moon, and calcium phosphate is associated with Saturn. Now, if you have any type of deficiencies around the knees, bones, joints, all that type of shit, this is your Capricorn energy talking to you. You need some calcium, okay? If you have issues around gut issues, emotional shit, can't balance out and regulate your goddamn pH balance, all this shit deals with the guts. You're going to be dealing with sodium issues. Salt moves energy through the body. The lymphatic system wants to move. A lot of y'all ain't sweating enough. A lot of y'all ain't outside enough. A lot of women going to deal with iron deficiencies, vitamin D deficiencies. All these things to equate to issues of the gut. Your gut is your first brain. If you feed the gut the sun, the solar principle, you will feed your body what it needs. All right. Now, anybody that can relate once again to that energy of what I just spoke to when we're dealing with this energy of the moon, and how you can deal with your overall well-being. If that was relatable to you, I want you to put a 2 in the chat. I want you to understand the power of the moon and the power of your relationship to this energy and how you're going through a widening stage to gain clarity and gain more vision for yourself. And if you don't allow yourself to sit in this gestation long enough, you will come out too quick and you're going to go back through cycles of where it's going to take you back through a dark night of the soul. You see why so many people can go through so many dark night of the souls? How many times your ass want to be die and be reborn? So if you let go of guilt, if you let go of expectation, you let go of helping somebody make you feel good, trying to put a mirror in front of a motherfucker, doing all this cancerian shit. And if you embrace the fact that you got to mother and nurture yourself, nobody else can give you a love that they don't have for themselves. Why does your mood keep changing based off outside shit? You know? All these are questions that you're going to have to ask yourself internally. All right? So I love how I'm gonna give it. And it said this is keywords dealing with the moon, emotions, basic urges, needs, instincts, intuition, memory, subconscious, mother, women, children, fluctuation. Based off a man's moon sign, based off what's going on in this fourth house, when I do these readings and my consultations, I can tell you if you're gonna have women problems and why. All right. So understanding your moon and your birth chart helps you bring a lot of clarity to yourself. Okay. So I hope that helped you out. We're gonna go into the next stage. Stephanie, is there something you want to add to that stage of that whitening?
No, I think you. Well, I do want to say this because this came up when you were talking about calcium phosphate and sodium chloride. Um, make sure you detox so that your body can absorb before you start um, giving it the things that are recommended or that it needs. You want your body to be able to absorb the things that you're putting in there. Right. So this ain't break check engine light comes on and you break it and just start. This is a wholeness, right? As Sensei was saying, a whole bodiness, right? So um yeah, but other than that, Sensei, I said where that 5 of spades come up. And guess what, the 5 of spades is coming up in part in the third step in alchemy. And the third step is a solar value of 44.
And that's the one we're getting into now. And that's the next part I'm gonna get into, which is going to be the yellow one. Now, this is called the citronitis. Okay, so I'm gonna get to this. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to wait for this goddamn page to come up. Now it's raining down here, so like the internet gonna start moving slow. Now it's a trip because during the citronita stage, you're going to be dealing with the energy of Mercury. Okay. So remember, we went through the first stage, y'all. The first stage of blackening. This is going to be your Saturn energy. Okay. The second stage was the moon. This is your intuition and all this type of shit, your connection to mama. Now, this is also the next stage is going to be your Mercury energy. So these are the placements where if you have your birth chart and you want to look up some of the things that you'll be having to alchemize in your life, this will be your place to look up some of these things and learn how to study why you have experienced some of the stages in your life, the way you've experienced them. Okay. So when you're dealing with the stage of the yellowing, which is also called the citronitis, and that citronitis is spelled Citrinitas. All right. Now, the yellowing is beautiful because within this energy, you're dealing with this is the integration. Okay. Because this is the integration of the opposites of the wisdom and the spiritual enlightenment. Okay. Because what you're integrating is the new self now. Remember, you done already went through the dark night of the soul, setting the whitening, and you've been refining your emotional state, understanding who you are, knowing who you are now, finding all these beautiful things within yourself to honor yourself, to show up for yourself, to nurture yourself. All the clarity that comes out of that, you done purge, you done detox, you at home in your body, you're feeling good, you starting to take control of your everyday functions, and your emotions are no longer so much governing you. A lot of maturity, maturation, you done came out of this stage with a lot of awareness. Now you into the Mercury. How am I going to communicate from a healed place instead of a hurt place? Hurt people, hurt people. Heal people, heal people. Have I removed my likes and my dislikes? Right? This is the power of this stage of whitening, the yellowing, because you're dealing with Mercury, you're dealing with communication, you're dealing with intellect, you're dealing with the power of being adaptable. All right. Mercury controls the nervous system and also the right side of the brain. Okay. So since it controls this energy in the right side of the brain, hold on, let me see something. I don't know what the other stuff is. Since it controls Mercury in the right side, Mercury controls the right side of the brain, it controls your communication. All right. So since we're dealing with the areas of communication, you're going to find yourself in a place to say, okay, how am I going to find out? Let me go into this Mercury energy real quick. So Mercury is going to bring in a lot of aspects of how you deal with the shit you deal with. And Mercury is also going to deal with your childhood trauma. Okay. A lot of people in astrology won't tell you that, but if you listen to me and Stephanie, we're going to take you down that rabbit hole of understanding Mercury ruling your childhood traumas. Mercury can also rule your everyday activities. Because when you're dealing with Mars and Mercury, there's a power with these two energies, okay? Because you ain't going to initiate shit that you think about without putting energy behind it. You got to have some passion behind the thought in order for it to become a reality. So Mercury is the place to where we connect with our thoughts. Mercury is the energy, like I told y'all earlier, is the Trismegistus, the Hermes Trismegistus, the Tahuti energy, all right? The wisdom, the Ibis. So humans want to connect and share their thoughts. They want to feel content in life. So we need social connections for that. Mercury rules a lot of the way we socialize because it rules Gemini and it also rules Virgo, okay? So when you bring in the energy of Mercury, you're also going to deal with the aspects of how we disseminate information, how you communicate that information, how you analyze what you think, okay? I think being Gemini, I analyze being Virgo. So when you bring in Mercury, you have to bring in Gemini and Virgo. Just like when we brought in the moon, we had to bring in Cancer. When we brought in Saturn, we brought in Aquarius and Uranus. Aquarius and Capricorn, okay? So Mercury is dealing with the intellect and how you interact with other people through conversation, through communication. But when you're dealing with Mercury, it governs your thinking process and the general of your rational mind. All right. So it's how you show and how you learn, shows how you learn the best. So Mercury is dealing with that fastest moving planet. That's why we have a Mercury retrograde every goddamn 6 months, right? So when you're dealing with Mercury in astrology, it's never further away than 28 degrees from the sun. Mercury is going to always be next to your sun sign every time. This is the relationship between Mercury and the sun because Mercury is going to light up your sun. It's going to be the way you communicate through the energy of your sun sign. The relationship between Mercury and your sun sign is very vital to the way you communicate and the way you learn about yourself in this life. If that process was damaged as a child, if you had issues integrating your own thought process into that of other people around you, starting with your siblings, your uncles, your aunts, the motherfuckers that walked the streets with you, people that went to elementary school with you, the way you began to build chameleon, the way you found your twin. This is why Mercury rules Gemini. Everybody got a twin. Motherfucker, I can't stand Gemini because Gemini gonna make you come out with your twin. That's why when y'all, anybody that don't like Geminis or deal with Gemini energy in the chat, I'm not gonna take offense. But if you deal with Gemini shit, I just want you to put a 3 in the chat. If you have issues with Geminis and you like Gemini just fuck with me, they work my nerves, put a 3 in the chat, okay? I won't have a problem with it. I just want to show you something. Because Geminis come along in your life just like every other astrological sign to help you alchemize and experience. I better not see no more. Y'all better stop now. I'm gonna get. Now I'm just playing. All right. Now, when you're dealing with Gemini, Gemini is gonna come into your life and force you to communicate. Now, what Gemini can be fickle and don't give a fuck, or they showing you how not to give a fuck. They showing you that most of the shit you communicate about, most of the shit you want to talk about, it just matters to you, right? This is why Gemini can be seeming two-faced, because Gemini has a high level of understanding. Now, I will give it to you. Geminis can be all over the place. They can invite you into their mind, you know, into an incomplete ass thought. They can just be thinking about some shit and act like you heard everything they thought. They don't know shit of it. You like, what the fuck is we talking about? Kanye West and all these motherfuckers. I get it. Okay, I get it. Even I'll be Gemini sometimes. Okay, I get it. Okay, I'm not even gonna deny none of that. Okay, but I'm just expressing the energy. So don't blame me. No, blame me. Fuck that. You can't blame Gemini. Blame me. Blame me. Blame these people. It's them. It ain't Gemini. It ain't the energy. See, we got to get away from, you know, trying to blame shit on our own motherfucking shit. It's not Gemini that made. It's my Scorpio make me. No, it's you, motherfucker. It's you. It's you. So it's me. Okay. I be Gemini and shit. I love
The devil made you do it.
yeah, there you go. God damn it, Saturn made me do it. Fuck it. You understand? So now it's the beauty of you knowing who you are and knowing where to communicate from. And so even Geminis have to learn that within their own life. All right. So Mercury in astrology is dealing with your thought process and how you rationalize and use your rational mind. And this shows how you learn the best. Mercury is the fastest moving planet in the solar system behind the moon. It's also like the hottest, quickest, and smallest. So when you're dealing with Mercury, you're dealing with the orbit of 88 days. And like what we were saying, it's never 28, more than 28 degrees away from the sun. So it's always within one, it's going to be inside of your sun sign always. Your Mercury and your sun sign go down there always share the same shit. And if your sun sign fell into a different decan in your astrology chart, then your Mercury is going to be right next to it. All right. So that's how you understand your Mercury in astrology. That's also the certain orders of the planets when you were born. So Mercury is like that. Since you're dealing with under the proper conditions, Mercury is able to be visible, right, to the naked eye. Even under the proper conditions, your psychology, the way you speak, the way you think, people can get it, right? So Mercury is like how you communicate, how you assimilate, it's how you think, it's the conscious mind. Remember, the moon is the unconscious mind, okay? The moon is the subconscious mind. The moon also rules the body, and the body is the subconscious mind. Now you understand why we're alchemizing? Because your body is your brain outside of your body? I think not. So your brain and your body are in the same goddamn vessel. So what you dealing with is your own thoughts and your own emotions and how you govern that shit based off the outside influences. Because the outside influences will have nothing to do with the internal workings of how the planets are working through your body. So this is why Mercury deals with intellect, learning, reading, writing, dexterity, trickery. That's why Tahuti was called the trickster. You know what I'm saying? In mythology, short trips, because Gemini also, you dealing with gathering information. You taking a short distance drive. The opposite of Gemini is Sagittarius, which is long distance drives. This is why Sagittarius is more of a straight shooter. Sagittarius ain't worried about a bunch of gathering information. I just know what the fuck I'm talking about because I went through the shit type shit. Or Sagittarius might just know some shit and just be acclimated on what they know and be like, I don't want to hear no extra ass shit about it. So this is why also Gemini rules siblings. Okay. Mercury governs the lungs, the respiratory system, the hands, the arms, and hormones. Now I want y'all to understand something. This is gonna give you a direct relationship to your gut. Your enzymes are what's found in food, right? Enzymes create hormones and hormones create cells, right? So when you're dealing with these hormones and how you can have a pH imbalance or hormonal imbalance, this is also why when you're dealing with the lymphatic system or dealing with that of the moon, when you marry this energy with Mercury and why you aren't speaking certain things that you want to speak, how you keep following the trickery, how you're not expressing yourself through writing, through journaling, how your conscious mind is always fucking with you, how you have self-sabotaging thoughts, right? How you can have lung respiratory issues, nervous issues. All these different things can throw your hormones and your whole chemical out balance because it's going to automatically affect your moon and it's going to affect your sun. The reason why is because in mythology, Mercury in alchemy, Mercury is called the messenger of God. Okay? The reason why Mercury is called the messenger of God because it takes messages from your sun and your moon. Remember, we just talked about how it deals with the intellect, you know, how it deals with your, you know, how it's quicker, closer to the sun, how you learn. We talked about how the sun and the moon is how you think and how you feel. How you think and how you feel is directly connected to how you learn. You understand what I'm saying? So this the power of these energies and how they play out in your life. So when you're dealing with this energy of Mercury, it can influence a lot of different things, but it's delivering messages through the sun and the moon under, I call it, the Mercury is the messenger of God, and it deliver messages under the sun and the moon through Venus over Earth. Okay? So you get messages in your thoughts from somewhere. Mercury is the reason why all thoughts are not our own. So that's why I understand that Mercury deals with their writers and programmers and scientists and having the gift to gab, right? Mercury is also dealing with you're also dealing with the Gemini and Virgo, like I said a while ago, but you're also dealing with it's the nocturnal Mercury with Virgo. So Virgo is more nocturnal. This is why Virgo rules pits. Virgo can be a ruling the nighttime, the night sky. Okay. So that was a little alchemy that I just gave y'all right there. Now, Mercury governs everything related to communication. Mercury is also the planet ruler of Gemini, like we said a while ago. So Mercury dealing with that is called Mercury can excel with the analytical shit. Because when you're dealing with Virgo, it's the greater sense of responsibility because it's Earth. Gemini is more Earth. So this is how you acclimate information and how you analyze it. This is everybody Mercury. Through this planet, you'll realize that everybody got Gemini energy and everybody got Virgo energy. So everybody that don't like Gemini, okay? Everybody that be having, everybody that put all this shit in the chat. Let me go in here right quick. Everybody who put something in the chat, right? The reason why you deal with Gemini is because you deal with gathering information. You deal with gossip. You deal with chatter. You deal with shit that no longer serves you. You don't know how to let go of old thought forms, right? Now you meeting Gemini and shit. So it's not a coincidence that you met a Gemini, beautiful soul. Not a coincidence at all, okay? Not a coincidence that you deal with Gemini energy because you're dealing with the intellectual mind. And that's why you're dealing with now being able to, if you deal with Virgos, if you have any issues with Virgo, this is also going to be dealing with your mercurial energy, okay? That's why Virgo is more serious and has a greater sense of responsibility than Gemini, because after that Earth, Mercury can excel with the analytical thinking, reasoning, and abilities, and the love for the facts. Virgo is linked to the sixth house. It's also linked to your health. Okay, so your listen. This means your thought process can naturally affect your health. So you see the power of the yellowing stage, like dealing with dealing with a communication and how you integrate, how you merge the new thing that you learn, how you let go of one thought process into another, how you let go of one thing that no longer serves you and acclimate more things to your everyday activities, Virgo. How you understand that there's a greater responsibility in the thing that you analyze and how you got to honor the facts, how you have to work on your health. So you see what happens during the yellowing stage? You start to focus more on your health. You start to focus more on your cognitive functions, your nervous system. This is why Mercury rules potassium phosphate, Kali phosphate. Because when you're dealing with this, the energy of Mercury and you're dealing with potassium phosphate is the energy of how you can have something on the tip of your tongue. And you know how you can forget some shit and something always slip in your mind? You need potassium. I hope y'all writing some of this down. I hope y'all writing this down now. You need potassium and stuff instead of slipping your mind. Also, look at your Mercury. Check your Mercury, okay? Mercury is that intellectual urge to distinguish human beings from animals, okay? That's why the relationship with Virgo, I told you Virgo rules animals, all right? Mercury is communication and literacy. It's also dealing with our civilization couldn't exist without it because Mercury rules commerce. Mercury is the reason why we're on a computer. Mercury is the reason why you have a phone. Mercury is the couch, your bed. Mercury is everything that manifests from a thought. Mercury is the bridge between your soul and your personality, and also the way you express that with other people. So you see, when you start to speak from a healed and a loving place, when you're no longer internalizing things that are going on outside of you, This is when you gain more mental clarity and more cognitive function. This is when you start to govern yourself accordingly. All right. So Mercury rules all forms of written and spoken communication. Lungs, respiratory system, all this shit enables you to speak. Right. So Mercury is the energy of he who speaks and he who listens. This is the caduceus when you deal with alchemy. Now, a lot of this you're gonna learn more in depth up inside of the alchemy course. So remember, the alchemy course is coming up. So if you want to join, you will get a link to that as well once this is over. Now we got one more stage, and then I'll be taking some questions before we wrap it up. All right. So gratitude for y'all being here. Gratitude for your time and energy. Okay. Gratitude for your ability to maintain your Mercury. Okay. I love
And somebody requested the meditation. So we'll do a little bit of meditating before y'all get out of here too.
Oh yeah, we got to do that. It's a lot of information. I'm gonna do that with y'all. We got that for sure. Now, this is why when you did, and I love how this giving this depiction because someone with Mercury in the seventh house. This is me. My Mercury is in the seventh house. Communicates the best in one-on-one relationships, right? So it's just like somebody with a Mercury in Libra as well. Now you also be dealing with a Mercury in the fourth house. This is kind of how I share the same thoughts of family and Mercury in Cancer. Mercury in the Capricorn, or Mercury in the 10th house. Somebody's always going to be dealing with wellness and well in career and communication. And this could be a good boss or a good HR, a good person to understand what the CEO wants. All right. So Mercury ruling the intellect and the conscious mind. So Mercury in the birth chart can represent that the person is very smart, well blessed with a lot of strong logical thinking. The higher aspect of Mercury is Uranus. So that's why Uranus is going to be about moving beyond this material stage and understand the power of your thoughts, the power of your words, the power of your speech, the power of your everyday activities, the power of you honoring yourself, the power of you moving off your own thought forms and not allowing outside shit to intrude on that. The power of not being impressionable, the shit that happened to you as a child. The power of not needing somebody to validate the shit that you're saying and what you're feeling. So you see the power of what you're transmuting inside of the yellowing stage? Because when you come out of that yellowing, you got to go into some more shit. Because remember, we came out of the blackening, we into the whitening, and now you're in the yellowing. You got to integrate this shit. It has to become real in your life. You got to have the practices to go with this shit. This is Virgo. The way you thought as a child can't be the same way you think today. Ain't that what the scripture tell you? This is what the scripture also says, be ye renewed of the mind. So a lot of people ain't renewed their conscious mind because the subconscious mind is steady fucking with them and you ain't integrated the two. And integration has to happen. The subconscious wants to become conscious. Remember, we out of the shadow phase here. You ain't in no shadow phase no more. The shadow is you now. You've integrated the shadow now. That means you become unapologetic, unashamed. You speak with more confidence. You speak with more clarity. This is what this does for you when you activate Mercury, and it activates you to a higher octave of this energy of Uranus and allows you to operate in your genius. That's why the Mercury in contact with the sun or Uranus is a sign of good mental abilities. Somebody with a sun or a sun sign and a Mercury in Uranus, and they all got the same energy, this person has a lot of strong mental qualities. This is why when you're dealing with Mercury in the aspect with Uranus, it doesn't have to be harmonious, but it wants you to understand the power of your intelligence, not your intellect. Because Uranus being a higher octave of Mercury, and it governs the brain and the human body. You understand? So it's like where the brain goes or where the head goes, the body must follow. As a man thinketh, so a man is. You see this shit? you see how the philosophies keep coming back, the scriptures keep coming back? Because it's alchemy, man. So when you having this Mercury and Virgo type of energy, like all this stuff makes you very analytical. All right. Now, Mercury, when you're dealing with this energy, it also, because it can't operate well with a lot of shit that's not going to be harmonious. That means you won't be able to communicate well in places and spaces where you don't feel safe to do so. How many times as a child did you not feel safe to speak? There's your trauma with Mercury and what you got to integrate through. Cause your little surface ass feelings ain't facts. Yeah, your mama hurt you. Yeah, your daddy hurt you. Yeah, somebody be telling you how to think and what to feel. Yeah, they be telling you you ain't shit. Why you believe them? Why are you constantly fighting to be seen and heard and recognized? You don't have to fight for nothing. This is when your silence becomes golden because your action speaks louder than your words. That's why you can feel afflicted and a hard time communicating and learning, right? Now I can look at your birth chart and you got Saturn conjunct or Saturn square Uranus or Saturn square Mercury, right? This is going to show automatically you're going to have limitations with the way you speak and the way you acclimate yourself to authority. So when you understand the power of these things and how it governs your childhood or your youth and your primary education, why you had trouble learning in elementary school, right? Why you might have dropped out of school early. That shit could be in your Mercury. Mercury in Aquarius, Uranus in Aquarius, Mercury in Sagittarius. These people don't want to learn shit. Fuck school. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, Mercury in Aquarius, Mercury in Sagittarius, at one point your ass probably dropped out, said fuck school. Even if you are an Aquarius or a Sagittarius, some part of you was always like fuck school any goddamn way. This is the power of this shit. I'm telling you, you can't make it up. This energy got to express itself. So you probably found yourself throughout your life saying, I can't learn this shit because it was bullshit and a part of you knew it. A part of you knew you was being acclimated, you was being controlled, your thought process was trying to be harnessed, and you were like, I don't like this shit. I'm telling you. And some people were like, I need more. You find some people they gotta gather a bunch of, I gotta go to college, I gotta get a degree. This could be found in your chart as well. So this is acclimating your experiences on how you information, how you inform yourself. Okay. So this is like can you build your own but reliable car type shit. You know, that's why I love that Mercury trine Saturn in your chart. Because you might feel like you can do it all on your own and you be done built this motherfucking car and you ain't got no knowledge of the shit that you doing because you ain't got no experience. And you crank that motherfucker up and the whole goddamn car fall apart or the bitch blow up. It look good on the outside though. See how many people like this in marriages and shit? I'm just telling you, this how many people living a lie, motherfucker, and they ain't who they supposed to be. Motherfucker talk good, got the gift of gab. What Stephanie like to say, Stephanie, the snake oil. Motherfucking sell you in the motherfucking thing. And you wonder why in society they got you watching all these goddamn commercials and you got to buy the product. This is Mercury. This is commerce. This is merchandise. So somebody start asking you what you want to be as a child. Ain't nobody in this room has not been subjected to some type of childhood trauma in relation to Mercury because somebody along the way start asking you what you want to be when you grow up. You start comparing yourself to somebody. You start thinking you got to do this way in order to be yourself. This made you start doing instead of being. See? So that's why Mercury rules cars and bicycles and shit, right? How many people have bike issues? I can look at your Mercury placement. This will help me out on rectifying your chart. You got Mercury in a Gemini, some shit like that. And if I see a square of Mars or some shit like that in the first house, I gotta ask you, did you scar up your hands or break an arm or something as a child? I gotta ask you, was it something traumatic around the way you had fun as a child, right? How did you acclimate yourself to your childhood early on? Do you have any traumatic experiences from your elementary years? Any major fights? Anybody you know didn't like you? Any major arguments? Somewhere along the way, you started to hide and conceal a part of yourself. Hence why Mercury rules Gemini, you created a twin a long time ago. Then you start Virgo. You start analyzing yourself from that place. Now you overly critical, over analytical of yourself. I don't give a damn who you is. I bet you dealing with Mercury energy. I bet you gotta, I bet you, now, once again, here we go. If you are dealing with mercurial energy and you understand the power of the yellowing, and it's hard for you to get out of your own analytical, self-sabotaging ass thoughts, and you can literally say, this is shit coming from my childhood, even if you had this realization right now before you got on this call, it's still shit from your childhood that haunts you. I want you to put a 6 in the chat. 6 in the chat. Because this is going to stop you from acclimating yourself to doing the everyday activities that you know you got to do. Something being of service to somebody else always gets in the way. Virgo is the sign of service. Somebody else's thought form get in the way. What somebody else thought about you, what they think about, how they feel about you. Most people aren't successful because they too worried about what the fuck somebody gonna think about them, Stephanie. Most people don't pop they shit. Most people ain't done they shit. You don't go live. You don't got your own podcast. You ain't letting your voice be heard. Cause that little girl in you, that little boy in you still scared and afraid of what people gonna say and what they gonna think about you. I don't like my voice. Ooh, that's a heavy
That part, I was just thinking that. They don't like their own voice.
That's a heavy Mercury room right there. Because you
Oh, man.
get to throw chakra. Go
And
ahead.
wound is the queen of spades.
You say it's the what?
The queen of spades.
Tell them what that Queen of Spades is, Steph.
That queen is mental health care. If you got your mental health care straight, you good. But if you don't, it's coming for your jugular. That queen is just before you get to the king of spades. It's 40, it's 51 of 52 cards in the deck. It's mastery of every queen. It's your self-mastery in every aspect of your life. And this is Uranus, Mercury. So it has to do with you when we're talking about this energy of Mercury right now, right? It's the flip side. It's going from Mercury Uranus to Uranus Mercury. This is the part where you self master, you overcome, right? Those inner child wounds that make you not look at yourself in the mirror, not talk to yourself in the mirror, not, be your own cheerleader, always looking for somebody else's voice, always looking outside to find somebody else's validation, somebody else's voice to give you what you think you want to hear. And they never say it in the way that you need to hear it. They'll never be able to. We need to just stop that right now. There's so many breakups and divorces happen because I just wanted you to say it the way I needed you to say it, and whatever. Everybody need to hear whatever they need to hear, and it's from your own self. So this is mastery this is master of your values. This is master of your mind, right? And this is master of your heart, right? And so without that, then the wound is the place where if you don't have mastery over it, it's coming for you. And you will see this in the later cycles in your life, right? You'll see childhood wounds open up in later cycles in your life, right? Now, if you get to Uranus cycle with this energy, which is after Saturn, right? We talking about 53 to, well into your 60s. That's why people in their 60s, they probably can lose their memory. The universe step in and be like, we'll take away the memories that hurt you. Well, the aspirin don't know where to go. So the universe just take all the memories away, right? So, hey, you hurt me. You never said it, you kept it, you swallowed it, you ate it, and you just live with that wound festering in your gut your whole life, then the universe come through, because that's what the first brain is the gut, the second brain is the brain. And if you haven't purged it, then it's coming for your brain. So don't worry, the universe got you. Okay, I'm out.
This is why old folks love sugar. You see it? They still craving the sweetness. They still feeding cancer. They never came out of what stage are we talking about, beautiful soul? If we're gonna go back to a stage, if you can look at the feminine principles in your life and look at the power of all timers. Why do you think it's called all timers? All timers. So you're dealing with something over time that's accumulated, and now it is dissipated. The brain functions. This is why sugar shrinks the brain. Sugar over time will shrink your brain. It can help create more gray brain matter on your brain. This is why sugar is more addictive than crack and cocaine itself. That's why now they feed you over 60 different names and 60 different ways for you to eat sugar. And you think it's not a biochemical warfare. It is a warfare against your spiritual evolution. If they attack your chemistry, they're attacking your magnus opus. They're attacking your great works. They're attacking your whole alchemical experience with life. Anybody that's in this chat that deals with brain issues, we just came out of the albedo stage, and we talked about how the magnum or the correspondence dealing with the emotional health. We're dealing with the sodium chloride, and now we're dealing with the kali phosphate. I told you that deals with cognitive functions. And then she just went off into the old folks. You see how this shit plays out?
And even dementia, having
Yes.
dimension, like being stuck in a dimension that you can't get out of.
Wow.
Man.
Wow. This is like why this energy right here learning to laugh at your pain. Because I'm going to tell you the power of Mercury. This is when you got to learn to talk to your goddamn self. Because you got to learn how to govern yourself. And if you don't learn how to check yourself, that means you don't trust yourself. Because a lot of times that extra voice you're hearing, you the only motherfucker that can silence it because it's you. But you'll go to a therapist, you'll go take some pills, you'll go on vacation, you'll go find another lover, you'll go find another daily routine, you'll go find somebody else to gossip, to chatter with. This is how Virgo and Gemini are gonna find an outlet. Fuck what you want to do. Virgo gonna find an outlet. It's gonna find some everyday compulsion, some shit, some goddamn obsessive behaviors and shit that you just gotta do every day. That's gonna be your Virgo shit. If I don't do this, I don't know what I'm gonna do. This is what motherfuckers doing meditation. I ain't meditate today. Now I'm triggered. Nah, you ain't got to the root of that motherfucking shit. That's why you triggered. you think it got something to do with meditation? It ain't got a motherfucking thing to do with meditation. Meditation is not what you do, it's what you become. So this shit is telling you that your everyday activities is going to create your reality. It goes back to what I said. So a man thinketh, so a man is. All right. So that's why Mercury is the planet of humor and healing and laughing and learning to laugh at your pain. You know what I'm saying? Learn to say, you know what? I'm gonna be all right, man. This shit crazy, fucked up right now. But sometimes I laugh to keep from crying. Sometimes I laugh to keep from crying. But you ain't crying. And then you're gonna take your ass back to that motherfucking black ning or the white ning, because you ain't crying. You trying to laugh everything off. Everything ain't motherfucking funny. Everything ain't no goddamn joke. This your life. You only got one. So if you start to take something serious, you might can find some shit to laugh about. You see how the duality works? Like sometimes you have to get out of that taking shit too serious. You got to take a break. And sometimes the mental needs a break, not an escape. There's a difference between the break and an escape. And that's why I love what you said, because once you get older, yeah, the reality society, I'm like these planets to be like, all right, we got your escape. We'll just wipe your whole goddamn memory. Fuck it. We'll have people running around, you gotta feed you, and you don't forgot people's names and shit, but my grandmama got. Well, I bet you it's a lot of conversation your grandmama didn't have. And a bunch of our older parents, grandparents, they got shit that they taken to the grave. They got shit locked in their mind, secrets and shit. They own inner dimensions and shit that they'll never expose. You think your secrets ever die? You can fool half the people half the time, but all the people none of the time. So the skeletons in your closet can determine your goddamn health. It ain't got shit to do with the motherfucking shit outside of you. Where are you in your yellowing? If you can identify that you in a place right now to say I'm dealing with some intrusive ass thoughts, if you can say I'm in my yellowing, I'm there. I'm in that place and say I'm letting go of old material shit. I can identify with that. I want you to put a 3 in the chat. Let's put a 3 in the chat. Okay.
And the solar value for this 5 of spades energy is 44. So this is a mastering. This is all the fives. This is all the Mercury energy.
Wow.
Your mental Mercury, your values in Mercury, your loves in Mercury. This is all of them, right? So it's really going to be that purging energy. And how do you get centered in all of that desire to be free from all the things that's holding you hostage, right? That's really going to be a purge. Ooh, that was some good shit.
Nah, that was because even at 44, that's the liaison, you know. This is like that place to where you gotta integrate the feminine. Cause this is the intuition. See, this is when that whitening, when the logic and the intuition want to marry each other. That's when the genius of Uranus comes online. When you understand that how you think and how you feel is rooted in a lot of your own motherfucking traumas, you'll understand why they say your feelings ain't facts. Then you're able to say, I need not to react. The consciousness comes alive in a response. So it goes back to what we talk about a lot, Steph, the responsibility. In the whitening stage is where your ability to respond is cultivated. See? Your ability to respond to the shit that you can't control, your ability to not react from an impulsive ass, intrusive ass thought, because you internalized some shit, because you was triggered. Now you want motherfuckers to tiptoe and dance around your little triggered ass and shit because you didn't like it, it didn't feel good to you. Guess what? That's why they say grow up. And if you don't want to grow up, you're going back to Saturn. You're going back to the blackening. You're going back to
And
the
the
dark night of the
and
soul.
the
Okay, still.
and the whitening is the king of hearts. So this is Mars Mercury energy. So it's taking responsibility for your passions of your mind that you couldn't just, I said that today in a reading. You know, don't be triggered. Don't just act off the trigger or the passion. Like take 2 days. We don't take time, put stuff in the cart and then leave it there for 2 days and still see if you still want it. No, we gotta have it. Impulse buying, impulse, love at first sighting, all this, then 3 years later, you're like, how did we get here? You forget that you was so passionate about that shit that you needed it. It's like your mind couldn't rest without it. And you couldn't just let it go and see what happens in a couple of days and if you're still passionate about it. So that's real. That's that 13 energy solar value for the whitening. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. See, it's dynamic because even in that place of understanding this is where you are and renewing your mind, this is what the scripture says, be ye renewed of the mind. Because that 13 requires fellowship. Because only through other people will you begin to see yourself. So a lot of times you're going to have to see yourself through other people. That means other people can affirm or confirm you. So that's why a lot of time during the Mercury retrograde, you will have a lot of energy, a lot of time to reflect on yourself. Mercury is going to come in retrograde real soon here. So a lot of people who are in the whitening or finding yourself refining all these thoughts and all that type of shit, it's going to be a good time for you to revisit and let go of some things. Okay. So that Mercury retrograde is a time where there's always a silver lining. And it's a time to reflect on the previous period where and let go of everything that doesn't serve you anymore. So people say, don't do shit during the Mercury retrograde. You see what you should be doing during the Mercury retrograde? In Mercury retrograde, you should be letting go of whatever thoughts, whatever shit, whatever energies are no longer serving you. That's the power that you have. All right. So double checking. That's why Mercury is wanting you to understand basically what Stephanie was just telling you. is the reason why you got two ears and one mouth. This is the reason why a lot of people listen to react versus respond. Remember, in a reaction is the memory. In a response is your consciousness. In a response is the awareness. I love how you said I might have to sit with this for a little while. Allowing yourself to say, you know what, I'm gonna have to sit with it because this is honoring that you know what? I'm in between like my whitening and my yellowing. You know what I'm saying? I'm still having to sit with the emotions and shit. I'm still having to make sure I almost tripped out. I almost said the wrong shit. But you know what? Give me a couple days. Right now, it's a no for me. But I know a part of me wants to say yes, but I'm not gonna say yes with my lips and no with my heart. But I'm okay to say in 2 days or so I might change my mind. Even if I say yes to some shit today, I can change my mind in 2 days. I can change my, you know what? Today it's a no for me. Giving yourself permission to change your mind. That's the power of fellowship. Because everywhere you go, relationships might not work out. And you have to ask yourself, am I being lured into the vibration of this conversation? Is the gossip stopping at me? Am I feeding the gossip? Can I raise the vibration of this conversation? Right? Or is this conversation even worth me having? These are the powers of governing yourself, beautiful soul, within this yellowing stage and how you want to integrate and come out of that. All right. So
And
now,
I just want to add this before you move on from the yellowing. We're all in the yellowing phase. Because if you think about the yes, this is an 8 of Hearts year, but look at the numerology in the year. That's 2 4s, right? 2024 is 2 4s. That's a 44 energy. So we in a collective yellowing. And that speaks to that Pluto and Aquarius energy, right? This is that cleansing. So this is the year to use them sevens of the 8 of Hearts year to reflect, to do more reflection, even more than you did last year, and think before you act. Don't let somebody else's projections, especially people that have an open head, crown, right, in your human design, and you meet somebody that got a defined crown and ajna, right? They could sell you any idea just being close to you. You'll be like, man, I for some reason I want a cup of coffee. You don't even want coffee or drink coffee, right? So don't act right away. This is a good year to sit with stuff.
that was some good shit there because when you understand the power of where we are, and I love it when you talking about Mercury and we talking about Uranus. I just made a live video on Facebook about this today. What are we talking about? What is going on in society? Gossip, chatter, motherfuckers' everyday routines. We talking about Uranian shit with gender. We talking about communication. We talking about technology, AI. We talking about industry shit. It's a lot of shit that's going on that can distract you as you are in your own yellowing. It's a lot of intrusive thoughts that can come in as you're in this yellowing phase. There's apps being born every goddamn day. There's something different for you to do. New commercials, new products. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always something new. They always bombarding you with shit. Quick, quick. Mercury is quick. This is why during the show, how many times do you watch a show? Now they got the streaming apps, right? So imagine watching the show and the commercials keep coming up. The commercials piss people off so much to where they are now paid to not watch them. Yeah, people don't understand the dynamics of this shit because you fighting a mental process. You can't even stand to miss 30 seconds of a show. This is why people binge watch, Steph. It's the instant gratification that is given to you because we don't know how to wait. We want everything right now. Motherfuckers sit and watch 20 hours of a show and won't put 20 hours into their own hopes, their own dreams, and you wonder why we're in a whitening. You'll spend 20 hours complaining about the shit that you don't like about your life before you actually spend 20 hours putting the change and the thought forms into alchemizing what is necessary to bring the shit that you want in your life. So this is why we alchemize. This is why we're in the process of bringing this shit to people's awareness. So I love where you went with that, because a lot of people don't double check their own thoughts. Still, they don't double check, why am I saying this shit? Why am I thinking this shit? Govern yourself accordingly. That's the power of this shit. All right. Now, I hope y'all resonated with that, man, because I love those last three stages. Now we're gonna get into the fourth stage. All right. Now this fourth stage is going to be the reddening. Okay. So let me get up here to this damn thing right quick.
While you get there, I'm gonna give you the T. So 39 is the solar value of, is it Rubedo or Rubedo? Rubedo?
Yeah. Roberto.
Rubedo. King of Diamonds. King of Diamonds sits Mars, Venus. Hey. It's a little stabby. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
This is your inside. This is yin yang energy. This is marrying your masculine and feminine energy. I can't wait to hear what you got.
That was deep. Cause wow. The King of
And
Go ahead.
39 is a 13. No, it's a 3. I'm sorry. 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a 3. I was gonna say, because we having more energy with this energy of taking the knowledge, wisdom to the beingness of it, right? The 1 to the 2 to the 3 of it, right? So that 39 energy also comes out to a 3, right? In numerology. So this is, okay, let me be quiet. Go ahead.
Nah. And it really you broke it down to a 12, right? When that become the 3? Okay.
Yes.
Watch this. The cycles in your life, the cycles in our life can be counted. Some of the most elongated cycles in our life are 10 and 12-year cycles. These 2 cycles equated to 10 years. Something happening in your life every 10 years. You can see the same thing happening every 10 years. You can see the same thing happening every 12 years. This is directly connected to the sun and Jupiter. This is why 3 in astrology is ruled by Sagittarius and Jupiter. 3 also deals with a renewal of consciousness. 3 is a rebirth of consciousness. 3 is where we begin to govern the spiritual realm with 3, 6, and 9. So it ain't no coincidence that you went to that 3, and we talking about the sun as the final stage of your goddamn alchemical transformation, and the sun represents gold, Steph. This is what we finna turn the lead into gold, baby. We done already went through the dark night of the soul. We done went through it, healed the mama wounds. We done re-nurtured ourselves. We done illuminated all our shit. We done got rid of the self-sabotaging thoughts. Now I'm in control of my mind, my body, my nervous system. It's all golden from here, baby. It's all golden, baby. It's all in the reddening. Because now the reddening is going to represent spiritual transformation, union with the divine. Because guess what? The divine is going to acclimate to. If I unite my divine masculine, my divine feminine, I tell everybody, you was divine first. Now you see why children are golden. Now you see why children come in with some of the strongest form of the sun's energy, joy. All Jupiter and the sun, joy, magnetism, questions, straight shooters, ain't playing no games, bright eye, bushy tail. Why is this, mama? Why is this, daddy? Why the sky like this? They wouldn't have learned. They just sponges. They so happy. And somebody got to come along and take their joy. Did somebody do this to you? This is why we got to get back to gold. This is why in a lot of movies you'll see them tell the child, stay golden. You got to stay golden. This is why Dorothy followed the yellow brick goddamn road, Steph. That's why she had the 10-man, she had the 4 stages of alchemy with her. Stop playing with these people. She needed the courage of the lion, the yellowing, to roar and not be roar, right? The 10-man needed a goddamn brain. The scarecrow needed a goddamn heart. So when you talk about the power of who you are and how you animate yourself, this is directly connected to the sun. You started out saying that we adding solar value to this shit. Guess what that means? The sun give all this shit value. This is why Jesus said, I sacrifice my, or God said, I sacrifice my only begotten son. This is why Jesus said, through me is the way. This is why Jesus represents bringing light today. This is why in the scripture says, you are the light, the truth, and the motherfucking way. You understand? Because this is telling you how you can light up your own motherfucking life, take control of your own birth chart. Jesus, take the wheel. This is Ezekiel's wheel. Wheel inside the wheel. The W-I-L-L inside the W-H-E-E-L. Where is your will inside the wheel? Well, guess what? It's found in your sun sign. This is why everybody loves their sun sign. This is why I tell people you're learning your sun sign. Everything in your chart is supported to help you learn the journey of your sun sign. That's why your north node in your birth chart is the highest form of expression of your sun sign. This is why once you take control of your life and you live it, you begin to magnetize your whole experience with life. Anybody on this planet that lives in the highest expression of their sun, you watch them bask in the glory of it. I don't care if it's for one hit wonder. I don't care if it's an athlete that worked his whole life to achieve a certain thing. Once they get there, it's going to be the pinnacle of their existence. The sun is your pinnacle. It is your unique way to express your energy. When you talk about the planets or the building blocks of astrology, every planet, every zodiac sign gets its information from the sun. The sun powers all this shit. Why do you think we have 12 zodiacs, 12 houses, and 12 hours in a day? The 24 gives you the duality. You can't make this shit up, y'all. So when you're dealing with the power of the sun and how it's expressed, remember I told you Saturn is the planet of karma, lessons, and blockages. So all your blockages, Saturn and the sun, the devil and God, the devil and God, I'm gonna take you out of church. Pass the collection plate, by the way, Cash App Sensei 9. You understand me? You can drop your Cash App in a 2-step. All right. So if y'all feeling generous and you know you feeling like you want to drop something in the Cash App, all is received. It can be $1, it can be anything. I receive it all. Gratitude for your time and energy. So you know what I'm saying. We talking about the relationship between God and the devil. This is the reason why in cartoons they will show you a depiction of the angel on one shoulder and the devil on another. See? Because remember, you have to come out of Saturn to get her. Remember, you have to come out of all those stages. You have to come out of the blackening. You have to come out of that Saturn, the restrictions. You have to give yourself authority. You have to come into the whitening and sit with those emotions and purge that shit. Learn to eat the right foods and exercise and take control of your body. You have to learn to speak from a healed place, not internalize all this shit. Now I can be me. I can learn to just be. Now you can just be. Because the sun is saying, I want you to just be yourself. So that's why the sun and the moon and the planets, but for sake of simplicity, you know, that's why they put that, but dealing with luminaries. So the sun, the moon influence just like the rest of the solar system. But when you're dealing with the sun is a celestial body, and without it, there is no light. I want you to Google how long would the world last if the sun was to die. While you got motherfuckers like Bill Gates and shit out there trying to block the sun, good luck. It'll never work. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Fear not. The only time y'all really need to fear, the only time your ass need to fear any goddamn thing is if you go outside and you don't see nothing but total darkness. You know, when I hear people say all the time, Steph, I don't see the sun. Motherfucker, is it light outside? Oh, what you mean you don't see the sun? Ain't you seeing the trees and the grass and shit? Well, the sun is out. That means it's clouds blocking it. That don't stop the sun from shining. So no matter what you've been through in your life, no matter what you've experienced in your life, can that shit stop you from shining? See, you know, I want to take it back to some real life shit now, cause you are the sun, you are expressing yourself, you are a solar principle. All of your birth chart is revolving around you. You can choose to live in and out of this chart, like what Stephanie told you. The older you get, before you know it, it'll just, you know what? You don't got to live it out no more. We're gonna keep you comfortable. We'll keep you in the blackening. We'll keep you in Saturn. We'll keep you in restrictions. This is when you see old people don't want to change, but for some type of reason, nothing fucked up ever come to them until they just get old and die. Straight up, time took them out. That's why you'll see an old lady in the projects or in a neighborhood where everybody be getting into it, but she's protected in some type of way. Because she done said, this is where I'm at. I'm placing my restrictions right here. This is where I'm laying down the law, right here. That's the power that we all got. You can get comfortable in the motherfucking world. And these planets say, this is where you want to be. Well, fuck it. Fuck it. If you saying fuck it, we got a lot of fuck it. The solar system got a lot of fuck it. You think you got some fuck it? The solar system got a lot of fuck it. You think you don't give a fuck? The solar system got the ultimate don't give a fuck. You think you don't care? The sun got the ultimate I don't care. So when you understand the power of your light, the power of you expressing your energy, it is dynamic to you because the sun shows you your inner self in this life. And that's why I would tell people you're learning your sun sign. And that's why the sun dealing with the willpower, the energy, the vitality, your creative pursuits, your identity, the male or the active principle, the father or the husband. The sun represents the core of your personality, the consciousness, truly who you are, right? And the sun, that position in that natal chart where the sun shows you what makes you shine, okay? This is why I'm able to see somebody with a sun sign in the 12th house, even sun in Pisces. These people don't like the front. They don't like the limelight. Somebody with a sun sign in the 12th house, because it's in a house of where it's hidden, it's in a house of water. These people can even struggle with getting like, you know how you could be in line and somebody just walk straight over you like you one there? If anybody in this room or anybody on this Zoom that deals with that a lot, I guarantee you have your sun sign in the 12th house. Because you can easily get looked over because the sun is in a place to where it doesn't want to be. It can't shine that much in the muck. It can't shine in the darkness. The darkness will consume the light. How many dark days have you went through to where it consumed your light, where you felt drained and zapped? This is solar. If you ain't eating the goddamn right foods, you see how you can get all this solar energy, because a bunch of people can reach a feeling of this sun and be like, fuck, but I can't maintain it. It's not stable. You have to energize. You have to purge. You have to allow this energetic core to be able to harness this energy when you get to this reddening now. You know, when you get to this reddening, this spiritual transformation and that vitality and knowing that you are the source of life and knowing that down to the cardiovascular system. See, the sun rules the circulatory system, right? So the sun is going to be responsible for your overall well-being. This is where magnesium comes into play. Magnesium, muscle deficiency, sodium deficiencies, right? Your muscles and feel sore a lot. People who bruise easy. People who have trouble with waking up. Vitality levels low. Serotonin levels low. Circadian rhythm off. Sleep cycles off. Sun vitality off. You see it? Carl, this is where you are. And the sun describes your ego, your will, and your role as you develop a strong, healthy self-image. I want y'all to understand what the fuck this means. This is why when we deal with Jesus or we deal with the sun, we deal with a resurrection. See, this is when I tell people, Stephanie, that your son, your ego is already dead. It needs to be resurrected. Your ego is too, your son is too lost in Saturn. Understand what I'm telling y'all? Your son is too captivated in restrictions. Your son is too caught up in how you feel. Your son is too caught up in the mental traumas from Mercury, how you think and shit. Now you have trouble with integration. You have trouble with allowing the vitality and a part of you to shine like the goddamn sun, being unapologetic, being unashamed to just be you, like the sun wants you to do. And that's why the sun rules fire, and 7 is the number for alchemical, or the alchemical number for fire, and 7 is the principle of fire, and fire rules the aspect of the refinement of the soul. And that's why the fire signs deals with Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now, that's why those with the sun in Aquarius, where it is at its detriment, need an extra boost to be motivated. This is why Aquarians deals with mental health issues naturally. This is why in the age of Aquarius, all of the shit to where you need an extra boost to be motivated to get your ass up is going to be brought into your attention. It's going to be brought into your awareness. Because it wants you to move. It wants you to trust the sun. It wants you to go about your vital energy. What have you learned from being a Gemini, being a Cancer, being a Libra, being an Aquarius? Where is your sun sign? What house is it in? What have you had to alchemize with that? Is your sun squaring anything in your chart? What's your relationship with your sun and your Mercury? How are you using Jupiter, which is the planet, to light shit up? How are you allowing your thought process to expand beyond your own feeble mind? Have you turned the wounds into wisdom? Are you leaning not on your own understanding? Have you married your divine masculine with your divine feminine so you can resurrect in the divine? Is you falling off the goddamn vine because you tired? Or is you falling off because you right? See, because when the sun comes in and it grows something, this is when life don't see. This is when you don't got to pick an apple. Certain things you don't have to pick when it falls on the ground. Now it's there for you to get it. And this is why trees even communicate with themselves. If you pick something high enough on the tree, or if you disturb an apple tree or a peach tree, any type of fruit or any type of tree, let alone, it's going to send messages to the other tree that something is damaging it. This is all information from the sun. This is all our vitality. So when you're dealing with the sun, it represents that masculine or the active principle. It spends 1 month in each zodiac sign. This is how we get the aspect of what we know as the sun signs in 30 days. All right. So Aries is the child stage of fire. Leo is the adolescent stage of fire. Sagittarius is the adult stage of fire. Okay. When you're dealing with the sun and astrology is connected to Leo because it's connected to the inner child and it's exalted in Aries and its fall is in Libra. I want y'all to understand something here. Aries and Libra represent libraries. Libra and Aries, your libraries. Your first house is your I am. Your 7th house is I balance. Your first house is your relationship with yourself. Your 7th house is your relationship with other people. This is why you're going to go through relationship issues to be refined in your sun. Me having a sun sign in the 7th house, relationships are huge in my life for my refinement. If I get stuck in one relationship too long, something will happen and make me move. It's just how this shit go. So when you understand the power of it, you don't fight against it. That don't mean that you stop loving. That don't mean that you don't know how to be committed. That don't mean that you don't understand that love is something that is powerful, something that you can experience, something that you can express. But this is when you allow these things to become your own. This is the integration of the lesson. This is the wounds becoming wisdom. The sun is never in retrograde. The sun ain't going back to look at a goddamn thing. You understand what I'm telling you? The sun ain't looking back on shit. Mercury, Venus, all this shit, they will. The sun is not taking you back. It wants you to express your higher self no matter what the fuck you've been driven back to. No matter what the fuck cycle is repeating in your life. Light it up. Find the joy in it. Find the vitality in it. Find the gratitude in it. This is what the sun wants you to do. Turn lead into gold. Can you see the good shit even in the midst of the bullshit? This is what happens when you turn this lead into gold, baby. Our problems become possibilities. Our situations become opportunity for you to be a walking solution. I say this shit all the time because the sun means that you are a walking solution. Everywhere you go, you're supposed to shine there. Period. Because you made a choice to show up here. You think the sun apologetic because it's 110 degrees in fucking Vegas and it's only fucking 70 degrees in fucking Bali? The sun don't give a fuck. You get what I'm saying? So why are you caring about how people see you, about how they feel about you, about what they think about you, how you feel happy and living your purpose? When your sun is at a detriment, you are at a detriment. When the sun dies, you die. When your vitality dies, you will commit suicide. I guarantee it. All these other planets can die out. When this sun energy die, somebody gonna take themselves out. I don't give a fuck who you will. I don't care how strong you thought they was. I don't care how you never saw them doing that shit. They sun sign was suffering. That means that they couldn't be themselves. That means they didn't know how. That means they were living in a world where they was constantly complaining and living in exaltation, living to their own detriment. So they burned themselves out. People can burn themselves out. Your sun sign is connected to your heartbeat. You get over 2.5 million heartbeats per life. These heartbeats can equate to when something is exalted. When your heart stops beating, that's it for you. The sun has stopped revolving around your physical being. Does that mean you die spiritually? No, the fuck you don't. So if the spirit comes alive, the sun is resurrected. This is why Jesus said through him or through you shall do greater works. When the sun is resurrected, your ego is now taking on a form to be connected to something greater. Who could tell Jesus any goddamn thing when he knew his father had him? See the power of the sun? Who can tell you anything when you know you connected to the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, Venus, Mercury? Who can shake your confidence when you know there's higher forces, higher things supporting your life's journey? Who can shake up your vitality? What can life throw at you to where you won't be ready for if you understand that the power of God is truly in you? If you truly got the Godfidence to acclimate and learn or go through every goddamn thing that you experience in your life with the confidence and the clarity to know that it's all happening for your soul's evolution and growth. Nothing is ever happening to you. It might not feel good. You might not like the way it look, but you understand there's something here at play that is helping you become the greatest version of yourself. This is why we go through adversities, trials, and tribulations. All this is leading you back to you. That's why the sun is at the center of your chart. And I tell people it's the X marks the spot. Because the sun takes time to fully develop. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to learn those parts of your life and identify with certain more of your parts of yourself so you can understand the power of what's generating your sun. That's why the sun, the moon, the rising and shit like that. Because the moon shows your immersion and the ascendant is like the icing on your personality cake. It's the mask you wear in the world. And the sun is that conscious ego and how your inner self at its core, the center of your personality is not in the ascendant, but who you are. So what happens is, let's just say you, like me, I'm a Gemini sun, Sagittarius rising, Scorpio moon. When I talk, you hear all of it coming into play. I'm not leaving out one aspect because I'm not divided. When you're not moving in division, when you illuminate, you light up your whole motherfucking chart when you speak. It has to support you. Mars gonna show up, Venus gonna show up, Uranus gonna show up. And when you understand how to embody these things, it can show you how the power of every experience that you've been through has been meant to alchemize you and your experience as life. Okay? So the power of this energy is very, very dynamic to one's vitality and your essential overall well-being. So that sun is representing that conscious part of you that wants to thrive, that wants to be yourself. And all of the planets want to support the sun. Mercury, the planet of communication, the bridge between your inner self, which is the sun, and the other people, making it possible for you to connect with the rest of the world. The role of Venus is to attract other people to you. So it shows your sun how it can get what it wants with ease. I hope y'all taking notes. I'll screenshot this. You understand me? Because this is some very simple shit to help you understand the power of why you're flowing through these energies the way you flow through them. So the sun is going to deal with both luminaries because the sun and the moon are both important to this principle. It has nothing to do with being male or female. This ain't got nothing to do with you being, this ain't got nothing to do with your gender. That's Uranus. Okay? That's nature. I'm a man and you a woman because nature wants us to procreate and have sex and make children. All the other shit we do is the shit that make us feel good, period. Nature ain't got nothing to do with that shit. That's your own wants, your own likes, your own desires, the own voice, and your own emotions. That's the shit you got to heal from. That's why you keep attracting relationships and dealing with the same shit in different people. Now, if you want some help on that, I suggest you book a read because we damn sure gonna help you out in that area, okay? So the sun astrology dealing with that masculine principle has nothing to do with your, you being a man or a woman. The sun shows your father. And if you're a female, the sun also can describe your husband, also the father of your children. And then also in the male chart, it can show you, who your father shows you your father as a father and a husband, right? So my father was an Aries. My mother is a Gemini. My children's mother is an Aries. I'm a Gemini. You can't play with this shit. It's real. My mother taught me communication, safety. My father taught me vitality, how not to give a fuck. He was an Aries. You see the play between Aries and Libra because now my sun sign is in Gemini in the house of Libra. And the first woman that I fall in love with, per se, and have children with was an Aries. You see the opposition that happened? So when you understand the power, because my mama fell in love with an Aries, which was my daddy, and I fuck around and had children with an Aries, which was my children's mother. So when you understand the power of how this shit gonna drive you, whether you like it or not, it's there. It's there for you to understand because it's there for you to alchemize. Okay? So when you're dealing with vitality and the sun, the ascendant can describe the physical body. This is also going to be dealing with the house of health and Mars and how you're dealing with shape. The sun can represent your general health, overall vitality. And the human body is acclimated to the heart, the coronary system. All right. So when you're dealing with the heart, when it's strong, when the sun is strongly aspected in your chart, I can look at your chart and be like, you have a good, healthy life based on when you were born. Okay. If there's certain squares or certain opposition to your sun sign, This can show that you're going to deal with certain health issues. Okay. So when you got a strong sign or a strong house, but it's like that house is full of energy, Aries, Leo, fire with fire. You get what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people with strong, like Sun in Aries, Sun in Leo, Sun in Sagittarius, those people can live a long or a short life. Straight up. Because they can run out their energy so quick to where they did all they came here to do. It's a fire with fire. They ain't gonna waste time. This is why Sagittarius and Leo and shit can seem so prideful, egotistical, like that on curl, because they got the sun in them. They ain't here to waste no time. They'll burn your ass up in the process. That's why the Sagittarius will leave your ass and be flighty. They don't give a fuck. A Sagittarius will leave your ass like they've been gone for fucking years and pop up like ain't nothing happened. Especially Sagittarius men. Sagittarius women just don't like to be tied down, period. They just don't like to be tied down. So when you talking about the aspect of Sag, it's free. It's that wild horse, you know what I'm saying? Both Stephanie and I both kind of share a lot of Sagittarius energy. So it's a trip when you understand the power with Sagittarius and how it comes together and how Gemini and Sagittarius, how these energies polarize together and how they want to create a marriage and how they do create a marriage in the way you express yourself and your creative form of self-expression. Okay? So these qualities of the sun, the process, it takes many years, all right, but you're learning how to be your sun sign. Especially when you're dealing with these certain aspects of like how it shows up in astrology, these are the things that you can learn on why you express your sun sign the way you do, why you experience certain things the way you experience them. You know, that sun sign can tell you why you get into some of the stuff that you get into. All right, so it's a very powerful thing when you understand these energies that are influencing you, the powers that are vested within you. Okay. Now, when you're dealing with these things, I'm gonna give y'all some certain things to leave with as well. Before we get off into the meditation, and also I'm gonna take some questions real quick as well. But I want y'all to understand take a couple practices with you. Okay. Now, make sure y'all ready for this, and of course the recording will be sent out. But the Negredo, the blackening stage, this is where you practice journaling and meditation. Okay. This is where you want to use journaling, meditation, all those tools will help you during that stage. Even acclimating yoga, all right, to your practices will be very powerful. Okay. So using some yoga and all that good shit to help you out as well. In that blackening stage. Also, when you're dealing with that, spending time in nature. This is going to help you be more grounded. All right. So spending time in nature is very dynamic. You know what I'm saying? It's going to allow you to really open up a lot of doors to how you're connected with your body. Okay. As you're dealing with the albedo stage, this is where you dedicate more time for self-care, such as meditation, mindfulness, creative expression. A lot of more well-being wants to be created in this stage. All right. So the more you understand gentle movement, drainage, lymphatic, immune system support, this is what this energy wants you to acclimate yourself to within this stage. All right. Now the citrinitas, this is going to stimulate more mental agility. So this is going to be through more learning, engaging. This is going to be even like learning a new language, taking on some coaching, getting with a coach like shit, myself or Stephanie, learning under somebody, learning more, taking on some mentorship. This period can help you with that as you learn to integrate those thought processes. And also getting more sleep, less stress, more rest is going to help you out. Stress management techniques, self management techniques, learning how to manage this nervous system. All right. That's going to be another thing that you're going to want to learn during that stage. The final stage is going to be how you do regular exercise. Remember, it's fire. So it's going to be how you get out there, how you move your body, how you feel more connected with the body, how you feel more inspired. This is going to be dealing with more heartfelt centered relationships, the more you connect with people on a heart level, okay? More reciprocal, deserving relationships in your life, all right? This is what this golden, because everything you touch want to turn to gold. And when you reach that stage, it's about you becoming the love that you seek. So become that love. When you turn that lead into gold, this is like turning the heart refining the heart. This is why when I talk about the purple heart in the army, and once you marry the left and the right side of the heart, so the ventricles of the heart, the red and the blue creates purple. So close your heart out. Make your heart of iron. That don't mean that you not becoming that you are no longer loving. It just means that you know when to not care because you understand that you are here to refine yourself. You are here to live your life. You don't have to unbecome. You don't have to become anything. All you have to do is learn that you can just be. This means that you already are. So we can hit a flip, we can hit a switch. You know, you can learn certain things that'll help you hit that switch. You know what I'm saying? That'll help you figure out who you are, learning yourself, breaking away from all those things that no longer serve you. All right, all that good shit. So when you acclimate this way of being to your life, it's a lifestyle change. All right. So I know that we just went for a good 3 hours or so. Now, Stephen, you want to add something to that, beloved? I know we just dropped a lot of good shit. You know what I'm saying? So if it's something you want to give the people before we get into some questions real quick, all right? So if anybody got any questions, all right, we'll take a couple questions. You know what I'm saying? But I want Stephanie to chime in. I know she might got some stuff to say too.
I was gonna say that's the sensei way, getting into that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's you don't leave nothing to have to go and find and look. I would suggest if I couldn't expand, but I was trying to get the the website that you were on, because if we could share that in the chat, then they can, have that as a resource as well. I don't know if you guys were able to see it, but the completion is what I was seeing, and the full circle. Gold is, I put it in the chat. What did I say gold was? In my papers. Let me see. No, I put it in the chat. Let me look at what I put in there. Somebody remind me. We went in. I was just deciphering how we get to the gold, Queen of Hearts. That was it. So gold being the Queen of Hearts, this is your dreams coming true. This is you becoming, your ancestors' wildest dreams. This is you, living out that sense of what's in your heart, what's in your like gut. Like what do you dream about becoming? This is the way you get to it. And a lot of people, like Sensei was saying earlier, they leave this planet never even touching it. They never, I asked the question in the Zoom, not the Zoom, the Clubhouse today, what are you passionate about? And not a lot of people know what they're passionate about. These are where the blockages show up, where you don't even know what you're passionate about. There's uh a block in your flow. When we think of the alchemist, the cartoon, and he's sitting in the water with his sensei, right? And he's helping him clear his energy of all these stones, all these wounds that turn into calcification, right? That are blocking his energy flow. So this alchemy course is going to help you as the individual be able to work through these different mm, laws that govern alchemy. That's what I want to say, these laws of alchemy, and to really see where it sits in your chart, right? In your cardiology, in your astrology, in these numbers, in your soul's value. Can you find that value in your soul? Everybody in here should be able to know what the value is of your sun card, right? That's the value of your sun in astrology, right? And so when you understand how valuable you are and understand how to unlock that gold, then your whole life can be living, breathing alchemical magic instead of mm, trying to figure out why you here, trying to figure out what you're passionate about, not getting to the mind or being able to use all of the mental capacity because you have those blocks. So I learned a lot from you, Sensei. I learned a lot about myself. I got so many notes. I got like 3 pages of notes that I got to cipher and put more. You know, my 7 of clubs energy and my Mercury Sag in the first house. You was talking about Sag and the freedom, and I was thinking, yeah, I like to be free. I like to be free from myself. I like to say what I gotta say and nobody block that shit. You know, I like to, let this whole 7 of clubs shit that happens with me bring down the energy. So I'm glad, yeah, y'all took notes. There's a lot of comments too. So hopefully y'all got some and then there was the cash apps that came through. So thank you for those of you that sent cash app to Sensei and I. There, if you guys have questions, you can come off. And Sensei, I don't know if you had a meditation in mind, but if you want me to lead the meditation, I'm down for that too. I wanted to say that.
Oh no, you can
That's,
lead the meditation. Perfect.
got you.
So we'll do a couple questions, you know what I'm saying, before we do the meditation. So anybody got any question around anything that you heard, um, anything that you wrote down and you like, okay, first of all, I want to focus on anybody that did not get this information. Anybody that was like, I don't know what the fuck I just heard. If there's anybody like that in here right now, let me know. All right. Don't hesitate. Don't feel crazy. Don't worry about none of that shit. Okay. I want to make sure I get to you first. All right. Like, we're gonna make sure we get you away from her with some type of better understanding. If you just sat here for 2, 3 hours and you didn't really get shit, we really got to see what's going on with that. We need to figure out where your Mercury is. Okay. So if you are somebody who did not get a lot of that, then let me know. But if you're not one of those, then if you do have any questions or whatever, don't hesitate to come off your mic. All right. I know we've been here for a while, so I know everybody want to be short and stuff. So don't hesitate if you got any questions real quick. We won't hesitate to answer them. All right. So no question is a dumb question. So anybody got any questions, we're gonna leave the floor open real quick for that. Well, because don't
I
nobody got
have a
no.
question. I
Wait a
have a
minute.
question.
Go ahead, Steph.
It's me.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the gold stage, did you mention the cell salts for the gold stage?
Oh, I did not. Did I mention the cell salt for the gold state? Now for the gold salt for this, I did. I mentioned magnesium.
Magnesium. Okay, thank you. Okay,
Yeah. That's why some of
that's
the
a.
people like they was on been on magnesium.
Okay, got you.
Yep. So magnesium, um, phosphate. Okay. This is what's going to help relax in the circulation system and the cardiovascular system. All right. So those are the things: magnesium, phosphate, all forms of magnesium. There are other like 3 other forms of magnesium. But if you are having issues around your tissues and muscles, and if you feel like you are resonating with this first stage, this last stage, the libido stage, put a 1 in the chat for me. Like if you are in this stage, understand that you are in this reddening and you are acclimating the sun's energy to your life, being more vital, understanding yourself, like walking in that power of your solar principle and shit. Put a 1 in the chat for us. All right. So don't nobody got no more questions. I'm gonna let Stephanie go ahead and run the meditation.
I got a quick question. This Monique. Can you just say the stage is over for me real quick?
Okay, I
Well, I
got you.
think. Well, let me just ask
And
this.
and they're in the chat. I put
Okay.
them in the chat. So
Okay. Then he'll have to. All right. Thank you.
no, he can say them, but I mean the spelling and stuff. You might want to look in the chat.
I'm still do it. So the first stage was the Negredo stage. This is the blackening. Okay. This is like the stage of dissolution, the state of decomposition. All right. Confronting the shadow self is what this stage is about. This is dealing with Saturn. This is also going to deal with calcium phosphate. All right. I'll do a recap of all of them. Now the next one will be the albedo stage, the stage of whitening. Okay. Now this stage dealing with purification and illumination. This is gaining clarity of vision. All right. This is going to deal with the moon. This is going to deal with the lymphatic system and governing the emotions and intuition. This is also going to deal with the cell salt of sodium chloride. This is dealing with emotional health and maintaining overall well-being and vitality. All right. The next stage is the citrinitis. This is the yellowing stage. Okay. This is gonna deal with the integration of the opposites. This is dealing with wisdom and spiritual alignment with this stage. This is also dealing with Mercury. This is dealing with communication and intellect and being able to be adaptable. Okay. You dealing with the correspondence, dealing with the moon, and you're also dealing with overall mental health and adaptability. Now, this is also going to bring in the cell salt of kali phosphate or potassium phosphate. Okay. Kali phosphate or potassium phosphate. The next stage or the last stage is the libido. So the libido or the libido, this is the spiritual transformation and transcendence. This is the union with the divine stage. Now, this is going to be dealing with the sun. This is going to be dealing with vitality, enlightenment, the source of life, knowing that you are life. This is going to deal with the cell salt of magnesium phosphate. This is going to deal with the muscular and the cardiovascular and relaxation in the circulation system. Now, there's one more thing that I'm going to give you all as a treat for everybody who has stayed so far. I'm going to give you the planets and also the alchemical meanings that go with them. All right, meaning the element that goes with them. So when you deal with the energy of Saturn, I'm going to type this in the chat too. Saturn equals lead. All right, Saturn equals lead. Jupiter. This is how you can look at even Dorothy and the Yellow Brick Road, and you will see. Jupiter is 10. All right. Remember, I know we talked about some of this already, though. That's why Saturn is lead. You're turning lead into gold. Mars is going to equal iron. All right. You're going to have the sun. It's going to equal gold. You're going to have Venus. Venus equals copper. All right. Now, what you're going to be learning off inside of the class is you're going to be learning how all of these planets can equate to your mineral deficiencies. It'll trip you the fuck out. All right. Mercury is going to equal Mercury, of course. That's why Mercury is one of the only planets that doesn't change per se. Now you're going to also Moon is going to equal silver. All right. So those are when you put the planets with a chemical, there you have it. Now, when you're dealing with the aspect of lead, this is like the foundation, like turning lead into gold, spiritual sense of how you confront your limitations, your fears and your doubts and your insecurities. All right. Jupiter is going to deal with expansion and growth. This is going to go with how you go beyond your own beliefs. This is dealing with wisdom and prosperity and spiritual abundance. This is like the essence of 10 is how you cultivate more generosity and optimism and gratitude. Okay. Remember, gratitude is associated with 10, associated with Jupiter. Now, when you're dealing with the energy of Mars and iron, this is going to be dealing with the energy of strength and courage and action. This is going to symbolize passion, determination, the warrior spirit. So when you talk about the essence of iron, this is cultivating inner strength, resilience, and determination. This is embracing challenges, standing up for your own beliefs and shit, taking decisive action. All right. The sun being gold, of course, is enlightenment, spiritual perfection, divine consciousness, vitality, all that good shit. This is going to be the essence of gold. You got to align with your highest potential and embody the qualities of the divine within you. Okay. Venus, copper, representing love and beauty and harmony. This is going to symbolize creativity and emotional fulfillment. All right. Achieving copper will help you alleviate a bunch of energies and toxins that no longer serve you, and also cultivate more qualities of love, compassion, harmony, nurturing relationships, and beauty, and expressing creativity. All right. So that was Venus. Mercury is going to deal with the energy of like how you communicate, intellect, exchange of ideas. It corresponds to like symbolizing mental agility, mental gymnastics. Okay. You're also going to be dealing with mental clarity and curiosity. I like to say curiosity killed the cat and satisfaction brought it back. Okay. Now, when you're dealing with the meaning of the moon, this is going to bring in intuition. This is going to bring in the mind, the subconscious mind, dreams, the mysteries of the night. You're also going to deal with the spiritual essence of how you got to cultivate more intuition and emotional intelligence and inner wisdom. Okay. Appreciate you, J-Lo, for that, beloved. So those are some of the other things I wanted to add to give y'all some understanding of how the planets also play out. Those are the 7 inner planets and the chemicals connected to them. Remember, inside of the actual class, you'll learn a lot more. We're going to be going a lot more in depth. Remember, okay, in the actual class, imagine having 9 of these. Imagine having 9 of these, and each time you learn more about what's going on in your life and how to alchemize these experiences and walk away with a meditation, more information, more stuff about where you are in your life, the daily practice, how you can help your children, understanding where they are in their life. This how this is handed down. This information, this is what is informing you now. When you're informed by divine information, you can't help but move in divinity. Period. So I hope y'all learned something from the class, man. I appreciate all of you all for being here. If you learned something from the class, if you understand it now, you have a greater understanding of how to turn your lead into gold. Put a 1 in the chat for me. If you left this Zoom with a greater understanding of how to turn your lead into gold, put a 1 in the chat for me. All right. Now, if you're interested in learning or joining the alchemy class, okay, now I might do something for you. If you're interested in joining the alchemy class, based off the information you heard, you're interested in jumping on this and you like, okay, you have the money to start, okay, you ready for it. You just might want a little bit more information about what you need to do to start. I want you to put a 9 in the chat. If you're interested in joining the actual alchemy course, the 888 course, and you want to start, you want to learn more, but you might got a few questions about how to start, what to do, I want you to put a 9 in the chat. All right. So if those people, I want you to make sure you inbox either Stephanie or I so we can get with you and help you understand where you at. We can work with you. We're working with people on payment, so you ain't got to pay the full payment up front. We making sure that we taking away any excuses. So we got some people paying shit. Shit. People have started to make payments, and what's happening is it's the time period because the class ain't started yet, and some people are already making payments, so they already got ahead of the game. So your deposit can determine how much your payments will be for 9 weeks. All right, we're gonna make it feasible, but we're giving you a lot of information, a lot of our time over 9 weeks. All right, so it has to be reciprocal. And we're in a time where Libra and the South know we can't play with our time and energy. Nobody can. Okay. So if you're interested in the class, like I said, put a 9 in the chat. And if you might be interested in joining the class in a future date, just right now, you might just can't afford it, but you might want to join the class in a future date. And, you know, something that you inspire to learn. I want you to put a 7 in the chat. All right, put a 7 in the chat. If you're inspired to learn it, you might want to join at a future date. You just ain't got the money to do it right now. Okay. Because we're gonna work on something for y'all too. All right. But I want to make sure we accommodate all the people. So we'll see how many people might even join the class if we do it again. Okay. So gratitude for you all. So I'm looking at the numbers. I see that in the chat. So everybody who put a 9, make sure you either reach out to Stephanie or I, so we can make sure we, you know, get you taken care of. If somebody already in communication with me, it's cool. I got you. So what I'm gonna do is tonight, okay, is anybody who wants to start and you might not have the full deposit, I don't know, Stephanie. I'm feeling real Jack of Diamond-ish. You understand? So it's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna see it.
Go on, do what you gonna do. I ain't gonna.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just trying to see how I'm gonna acclimate this energy and because I want to help two people get in the course. That's what I want.
Let's go.
I want
Okay, I feel that energy.
I want to help two people get in the course. So if there's somebody that's interested in joining the course and you don't have the money right now, and you might not even so if you got the money now, don't get in the way of these people who actually need the help now. Okay, just be a little okay. If you are this person and you are somebody who wants to help and you really want to join the course, I want you to go to Instagram right now and tag me either me and Stephanie in a testimonial and how what you learned from this class. All right. Anybody who know you ain't got the money, but you want to take this class, you might not even have the money, but you want this work, right? I want you to go to Instagram or Facebook. I'm gonna give you 2 ways, okay? So he won't have no excuse. Instagram or Facebook. Tag me and Stephanie up in a nice breakdown and a review of what you got from the class, and we're gonna pick a winner. All right. Depending on how many people it is, determine on what we're gonna do. But somebody's gonna get an inbox from me or Stephanie saying you done got in the class. Okay. We're gonna help somebody out tonight, just out of appreciation for y'all being here. Okay. So that's what I want to do, Steph. We're gonna do that. All right.
I like that. That was nice. Oh, I feel good. That make me feel good.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good? Y'all feeling great? We about to meditate. So clear your space, put your stuff away, get into a comfortable, space, turn your lights down. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of time to I'm gonna do a meditation that I usually do around this time because we're around the new moon energy. So connect you back to yourself, yourselves, and bring you back to, oneness. And, put away any ideas or thoughts unless you over there on Instagram like this. But other than that, put everything away for now. Let's let it settle, even your posts for Instagram, and get ready for your meditation. If you can lay down, you can sit back, feet flat on the floor. Sensei, you gonna meditate? Go sit down. Turn that light down. Go on now. Get
Yeah.
this. You get this work too. Yeah, you get this work too. And so, if when you're ready, get wherever your device is, just put one if you're ready for meditation. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get this meditation, y'all. Shit, I get to participate instead of guiding it. Oh yeah.
Yes, go sit down somewhere. Relax. There we go. All right, I need all the ones in the building. Nobody scrambling though. Don't scramble too hard. All right, I see y'all. I see y'all. How many ones I need? This was a good. Okay, I need 26 ones, y'all. Oh, my one is in there. So 24 ones. I know Sensei ready. All right, all right. We almost there. Are we there yet? Let me see how many I got. Why your one gotta be special, J-Lo? Okay, we got about 13. Everybody ready? I know some people was like, I'm staying for the meditation. Shoot, I need to meditate. And this will be recorded and you can repeat it over and over again. So get comfortable. Give me that one or a thumbs up or something. Let me know you ready. All these beautiful people. I like PTR. Okay. Thank you, Jackie. I see your thumb. Okay, we about to get
Stephanie, before
started.
you leave, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you want to do it now before the meditation? I was gonna wait.
Oh yeah, go ahead and do it now.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Is that
Okay.
cosmic? Okay.
Meditation.
Yeah,
On
it's
close.
Yeah.
cosmic.
Go ahead.
So you said you were a 7 of clubs.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I am too. So, I'm just curious. Are you willing to share the solar value of it?
20.
20. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, my twinsies. All right, if you're not ready, give me a clue that you're not ready, so I can know that you're ready. You can either put thumbs down, with your little emoji, or a thumbs down in the chat if you're not ready, because I'm about to get started. Mm-mm. All right, looks like everyone's ready. Here we go. So eyes closed. And you can be sitting or laying down. How do I take this off? Oh, no. Sitting or laying down. And before we begin, let's take some cleansing breaths. I know maybe we was holding our breath or breathing sips of air. So we're going to breathe in for 4 and exhale for 4. And when you exhale, you can blow the candle out across the room very softly. No big, blow, but gently blow the candle out across the room. So inhale through your nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through your nose. Blow the candle out. 2 more. This time, inhale. Blow it out. Give me a sigh. Ah. 1 more of those. Inhale. Ah. So with your eyes closed, I want you to focus in on your third eye and then direct your gaze down into your body. So relaxing your vision so that it's not fighting outside of yourself to look outside. Direct your gaze inside, looking down into yourself, keeping your gaze focused, third eye, and not pressuring your gaze, but just relaxing, almost like you've closed your eyelids and you're also closing the irises, and your focus is down inside. Breathing in the nose and out the nose, nice and slow, nice and even breaths. Tongue rested on the roof of your mouth. And I just want you to take a moment here just to settle in, relax. Let everything, all the information that you just heard, just settle. Let it become one with you. Let it seep into your crown. Let it merge into your system. Breathing in your nose, out your nose. Focusing your gaze into your vessel. And everyone, take your arms, wrap them around yourself. Squeeze, give yourself a hug. If you're laying down, you can get in the fetal position. You can bring your knees up. You can dig your head in there. Just hug yourself for being here. Hug of gratitude. Thank yourselves. Thank your body for showing up for you today. For loving yourself enough to come and get this information on alchemy. And give yourself a nice squeeze and then return back to either laying or sitting comfortably, eyes closed. Refocus your gaze back into your body, breathing through your nose, tongue resting on the roof of your mouth. And I want you to connect to your cellular structure, all the little hearts shining inside of your vessel that love you, that you're gazing in on. There might be some excitement here because you rarely visit this time in this space with yourselves. There might be some cheering that the God of the earth is here. You are here, paying attention to your earth, breathing in your nose, exhaling out of your nose, focusing your gaze down, relaxing your gaze in. And I want you to tap into your cells. Not your physical, but the little cellular structures, the 10 trillions of cells that are loving on you from the tippy tip of your toes all the way up to your crown. I want you to focus in on them. Maybe you see their little hearts in the darkness of your eyes being closed. Maybe they're coming to welcome you, to acknowledge you. You could see some auric patterns. Just breathing in here while you reconnection to your cells, giving them the attention that they have been waiting for, or the attention that makes them feel like you're really having that gratitude of that hug that you just gave them. How all of your cells work for you without you having to turn them on or ask them to. You just wake up and they're helping you to stand or bring your hand up or use your fingers, your heart beating without any mm, guidance. It's all happening for you. This body of yours is working without you having to ask for it to work for you. It's healing without you having to ask for it to heal. It's supporting you. Inhale. Exhale, focus in, relax your gaze. Let your cells show up. So tonight we're just going to give them this energy. You're going to give them permission, your cells permission, recoding them and letting them know that you accept, right? Let your cells know you accept their commitment, that their love, how they show up for you and no one else. Breathing in, exhale. And starting down at your toes, if there's any space, we're going to scan up the body. So imagine there's a green light coming out of the third eye that is a cellular scanner. It can scan the cells of your body. Focus it down onto your toe cells. And you're just going to scan, just a light scan, any place, any cells that have been giving you, messages that it needs some more attention, ankles, knees, any part of the body that's been asking for more attention. When you scan that area of the body, I want you to send love and gratitude. So starting down with the cells of your toes, moving up the front and the base of the foot, the arches, the cells of your arches, your ankles, your heel, coming up through the Achilles, the cells of the front of your leg and the back of your leg. If there's any space that needs extra love, just send love to it. Just send gratitude. Coming up the front and the back of the knee, and just stop here for a moment because those knees hold you throughout your lifetime. So spend a moment here in gratitude and love. Coming up the front and the back of the leg, the thigh, those big muscles, they carry you. They're the biggest muscles in the body, right? Coming up through your pelvis, the front and the back of your pelvic girdle, your digestive cells, your reproductive cells, spending time here in the digestive, reproductive part of your body. How all of this is working for you the best that it can. Sending gratitude, sending love, making a commitment to do your best because your cells are doing their best for you. Coming up the torso, around the lower back, the spinal column, right? Up those cells of your spinal column, up your torso to the rib cage, upper digestive system, Stop here at the rib cage, giving gratitude to the cells of your lungs for allowing you to take this breath and this breath and inhaling and exhaling. Gratitude up your spine for the nerves, the cells of your nerve centers, right? That help you to be able to feel. And coming up to the chest, giving gratitude to your heart, spending time with your heart, spending love here with your heart, giving back love because it's always loving you, pumping of through your whole system the blood that needs to circulate through your body, being grateful and in love. Fall in love with your heart. Coming up the chest, up the bones of your shoulders, up the upper spine, all the way up to the shoulders, going down, up and down the front and back of the arms, all the way to your fingers, giving gratitude to the cells of your fingers, your wrist, your elbows, coming up to your neck, the front and the back of your neck, and especially the base of the back of your neck where it houses the center of your nervous system, right? Giving gratitude and love for your nerves, the cells of your throat, the cells of the organs surrounding the throat, coming up the chin to all the cells for your senses, right? The senses that you use all the time, taste and hearing and sight, smell, giving gratitude to those cells that you are able to taste and hear and see and smell and mm, just giving all that extra love, coming up to your eyes, to your brain, mm. Apologizing for thinking the mind is the brain, right? Um, accepting the sacrifice that the brain makes to allow you to absorb so much information, to cognize, to remember, to think. Just send love to those cells, all the way up to the follicles, to the top of your head. So now feel your whole body as your light, the green light of your third eye is extinguished, and you take a deep breath as your gaze is back down into the body. You're relaxing after having had a complete scan of your body, of the cells of this cellular structure that you're always wielding, always spending time inside of. So now I want you to breathe in through your nose and exhale out your mouth. Give me a sigh. Wasn't it nice visiting with your cells, inhaling through the nose? Another sigh. On your next inhale, I want you to open your crown and imagine that the sun is the golden energy of the universe. Inhale, and I want you to bathe your body with that golden white light of the universe. As you exhale, blow it out your mouth. Inhale. Exhale that golden energy down and all the way down to all your cells, bathing your cells in gratitude. Inhale. One more time, imagine a river of golden light bathing all your cells, all the way down to the tips of your toes, to the tips of your fingers, everything in between. Inhale. And as you exhale, allow your crown to close. Rest your tongue against the roof of your mouth. Focus your gaze in your cells. And as we started this meditation, we will end it in that hug. But this time, I want you to really hug in gratitude for all the cells that you just reintroduce yourself to. Hug tighter, hug longer, ball into a ball. Love your cells for always loving you, even when you thought there was no love, when you thought you were alone, when you thought there was nothing there. You were always being loved on. Bring your breath back to normal. Spend a moment here in love. Whenever you're ready, and take your time, come back to where you started, either resting on your back or on your side, or in a sitting position. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Come back into the present. Rock your head from side to side. Slowly open your eyes. Hey, Sensei.
Peace, beloved. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, Stephanie, for the meditation.
Thank
All right,
you.
we appreciate you all. We're gonna let y'all go. You can take that mood and take that energy with you. Rest on that. Let all the information saturate in your organs and all that good shit. Anybody feeling inclined, leave us a nice review on what you learned from the class tomorrow. We appreciate you all for your time and energy, gratitude, all that good shit. So go turn your lead into gold. Go alchemize your experience. Take this information, build on it, grow with it. Most of all, make it your own. All right. So once again, we can give you our wisdom, but the intelligence is yours. Hopefully, you have a better understanding of your intelligence. Use it wisely. All right. So peace and love to you all. Gratitude to you, Steph, for being here, for participating with me, helping to host with these beautiful souls, and gratitude for sharing the information. Gratitude for y'all time and to show a lot for people to be able to sit here and retain this information the way it was given, and it showed a lot. So gratitude for y'all presence. We receive and appreciate y'all more than you really know. All right.
Yes, peace. Have a good night, love.
Peace. Peace and love. So love you all to life. Namaste.
Namaste.